Hey guys, welcome to the Desync podcast. This is just a little something different. We're learning. We're trying to figure out what this is going to be. We're going through the growing experience of this podcast with you guys as you're watching it, and it's something that we've never done before. So your feedback is paramount to this situation for us. Is what are you guys enjoying about the show? Leave a comment, please. Let us know. We're reading all of them. I've kind of been responding sometimes under the Desync podcast name, putting a little dash like Mike and stuff like that to let you know that it's me occasionally. And yeah, just want to know what you guys are enjoying about it. You'll see in the show that we're going to talk a little bit about making content that we like to watch, right? And for me, I would say that you'll see that this is a little bit more free for me. Did you guys enjoy that? Did you not? This was a longer podcast. What kind of lengths do you prefer, right? Things like that.
Yeah, should we keep it shorter? Should we keep it longer?
Yeah.
What kind of topics would you guys like to see us cover?
Yes.
And,
for futures.
For future podcasts, leave a comment. And not only that, but, let us know what you like that we're doing.
We got personal.
We got really
on
personal.
Things that we didn't get personal with each other in DMs that we probably should have done.
Yeah.
Right. So
this one gets personal. It gets deep.
You're gonna have to watch pretty deep into this one to find it. So
today's episode name: Why Berks Hates Mike, or what did we decide? Why Mike thinks Berk is a snake.
I think it should be why you hate me. I think that'll make them click.
Anyways, guys, the podcast is about to start. Thank you guys so much for watching and your continued support. We just want to add this blib at the end. We say basically the same thing at the end of the podcast, but we wanted to reiterate it so everyone hears. Thanks so much for watching, and let's get into the podcast. We're starting.
Like we could just have a normal conversation. Or are we going to start like
Ladies
awkward
and
like
gentlemen.
we do every show? Are we going to start awkward like we do every show? Yep. It's your turn. It was my turn last week.
It is my turn. Welcome, guys, to episode, I guess, technically, 2. I don't know if you know about this, Mike, but technically,
you did start at
you got to go
0.
0. And the reason why is when I eventually do move it onto like Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever it's called, they list the first episode as 0. So that's why. Oh. And so I just did that preemptively in case we did put it on those places. So at least that's what I heard. I don't know. But y'all, welcome back, everyone. This is episode, our third session, whatever we want to call it. Today we are talking. We didn't come up with a name. We didn't come up with a name for the podcast.
Listen, we'll come up with a name after.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna come up with the best name you've ever heard. Our topic today, we're talking about. Well, we've got a couple of things that we want to touch on, but after that, we're going to be diving into what kind of content we love, why we became content creators, and not only that, but what motivates us to continue to make content. Why did we do it full time? What kind of content inspires us? And we really want to hear from you guys too. What kind of content inspires you? So I don't know. Let's jump right in. First topic, Mike. Are you downloading Threads?
No. Well, I did. So I took a break on stream today, was in the bathroom, and was like, oh, I have to park my name on Threads. So I parked it, and then I deleted the app from my phone.
It's gone.
I have no desire to get another Twitter. I also saw a tweet today of somebody who made their first post on Threads. It was like a girl who was like showing a tattoo or something like that. And the first comment was like, that'll look really bad when you get fat. So make sure you don't like gain weight or something. And it was just like and I'm pretty sure the big thing is like Mark Zuckerberg was saying that like this will be the more friendly Twitter.
Of course.
It's like the internet is the internet, bro. Like Instagram is just as toxic as everywhere else. Facebook is just as toxic as everywhere else. Like it's not going to change.
First of all, I cannot stomach downloading another social media app. I can barely stomach being on Twitter. And I'm not saying this is like I know there's a lot of like Twitter hate parade out there where people don't, they want to install it. And, I know a lot of people uninstalled Reddit and, a lot of people don't like TikTok. Here's the deal is like, I just don't like being on social media really in general. I'm not like a super social person. And I like my hit of dopamine every once in a while, but For the most part, it's like I can't see myself downloading Threads. It's maybe I'll park my name like you did. We'll see, but it just feels like another clone, another copy, like the Beast guy and like that. What was the one that everyone was like super popular on whenever Elon first took over? Do you remember which one I'm talking about? There was another one. Hive. Oh my God. Yeah. It's just like, I feel like you guys are going to download Threads and be back on Twitter in like a week, like.
I think the difference is this is backed by like a legitimate social media company. So I think they're going to give it the old college try.
Like the metaverse, for example. That would.
Well, that's a whole nother topic, I think. I
was just kidding.
I mean, these dudes want to control the world, I think. But I don't know. For me, it's hard. Like if we go all the way back to episode 0, like we were just mentioning when we're talking about making content, and I think I remember, or if I didn't, I meant to mention, like when you're becoming a content creator and all the people who are like getting really upset about, oh, I don't meet the 70-30. Well, like a big part of like being a successful content creator is being like holding 47 hats and spinning plates all at the same time. And now you're adding another plate that I have to spin. It's hard, right?
Yeah.
And until you hit that level of where you would be meeting well above the 70-30 threshold on Twitch or whatever, right? Where you literally have a team. That's when, juggling all this stuff is reasonable. As a single person, it's just not.
I think that what a lot of people don't understand about content creation is the hardest leap that you make in content creation, I think, is what you're talking about. I don't think it's getting to partner. I think partner is, no, you've said this.
That is when it starts, man.
I think that is when it starts. I wouldn't say that getting partner is easy, but I would say that the maintenance and the consistency afterwards is much harder.
I think there are many. Yeah. There are as many partners that have fallen off in terms of like, all right, you're pushing. You have your around 100 viewers. I think that's approximately what people need to get partnered now, like 75 to 100. And they hit that point, and I don't think many of them grow too much after that, or they actually decrease, because it's very hard to maintain that level. Right? It's so much work, and to continue going past that and reach these 70-30 type situations is so much more work. Like, we were just talking before the stream, you're like right there. I'm still about where I was, a little bit above when we mentioned it. And it's a lot, man. This is it's hard. And I know you're doing a lot more with YouTube than you were in the past. Like even more recently, just like really focusing on it, right? So it's a lot of it's like just juggling more and more and more.
Yeah, it's a lot to juggle. That transition from not full-time to full-time, that's a big one. That's massive. Yeah. But I think this transition to step above that and try to be, I would say, successful, full-time, don't get me wrong, is wildly successful. If you make it full-time as a content creator, I think you're more successful than 99% of people who have ever tried. 99.9 probably. But I would say that jump that goes over that to turn into a creator where you're supporting, other team members, you're creating content that's bigger than yourself. You have a much larger community than you're able to handle by yourself. A lot of people, like you're saying, it's people don't realize the amount of work that goes into streaming full time and editing your own YouTube videos. I mean, I think that we talked about this week 1, and this kind of ties into our topic today, but you said that you were working close to, you felt like 80 hours a week. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm never not working. Even when I'm not actively doing something, I'm thinking about it, or I'm watching a video that is from like within something I would like to do, and it's inspiring me and things like that, right? Like even to that point, I feel like I'm always on.
Yeah.
Whether or not I'm like on the clock, I feel like I'm always on thinking about it.
Right. So
I don't
that
know if
being,
that's healthy or not.
I mean, I think a lot of people think about their jobs on or off work. I mean, there's literally a show that's like a hit about it, right? And uh, I don't know if there's spoilers or not. I haven't watched the show, but the show Severance is like literally about
I
this
don't know
whole
it.
concept of splitting your like work and home mind so you're not thinking about it, right? So I think it's like a pretty, and I think that's in the trailer, so I don't think that's a spoiler. I haven't seen it. But yeah, I've heard so many good things about it. But yeah, it's a topic that I feel like a lot of people, whether they work in content creation or not, they're like thinking about their job constantly. It's sometimes a struggle to like, branch away. But that being said, it's like I don't think either of us really have the time or the resources to be posting on 10 different social media sites and editing everything and streaming and, blah, 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 blah. Man, it's a lot. And it's not something that I even really feel like there's a lot of value in. So maybe I'm wrong, but
I think I think when you hit a certain level, maybe, but like posting going live on Twitter doesn't do anything, right?
sure.
Like
Yeah.
I
Some people
really
expect it, but aside from
I like
that,
to tweet just like memes. I think like the last like tweet I did that like I put any energy into was I just saw a picture of Tony Z, which is this guy. If you guys don't know Star Citizen, he's basically this guy who's like really into economics, but he's also a game developer, and they want him to design the economy of this game Star Citizen, right? Which is this crazy ambitious game. And he's been working at the company for many years and has accomplished basically nothing up to this point as far as the economy goes, right? They've done a lot of other things not related
of
to the
course,
economy, but the
he's taking a nap, bro. Don't disturb him.
yeah, but there was a picture. I just came across a picture of him walking into one of the studios. I know it was the LA studio because I just recognized the inside, and he was walking into the LA studio, and I just like tweeted him walking into CitizenCon to make his bi-yearly PowerPoint presentation, because every 2 years he does a PowerPoint presentation of what economy he's going to make and then never makes it. So it's just like become a meme. Like that's all I like doing with social media and Twitter is just goofing. Like
Yeah, me too.
I don't take it that seriously. Like it's just
Yeah,
this is all just goofs and fun, and that's just how I look at it.
I completely agree. 100%. Yeah, it's like it's more of an outlet for me than anything. I don't feel like I'm
Yeah.
gaining viewers or anything. I think YouTube's more for that, right? I would say
Yeah.
that's the best overall for anyone. I think
Yeah.
there's some, edge cases, but for the most part, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, even, Facebook, most of these are not going to gain you a massive following like
Do you
YouTube.
post on TikTok?
No, I don't.
I've
don't.
never, but I think it's as or more useful as far as like growth
You think so?
than YouTube might be. I mean, it's it's a bigger audience, and it's one that probably doesn't know who you are.
I have heard really good things from people who do that, like post on TikTok. Like a Tarkov creator who his name is Ash IV, and
Mm.
he said, or I'm sorry, my one of his friends told me that he was getting like something like a couple thousand followers a day from TikTok, where he was
On
just
his Twitch.
on his Twitch.
Yeah.
And see, this is now he has like 1 million followers now. He's been posting consistently for like 2 years. And it's much easier to get 1 million followers on TikTok than most platforms. But very interesting that he was able to break that conversion rate, because I've heard in the past that the conversion rate for like people who will watch your content on TikTok and then come watch you on Twitch is really low because the content consumption is way different. But people who would watch you on YouTube are more willing to watch you live on Twitch. That's what I've heard. So I don't know all the details, but I've just heard the conversion rate for places like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter are very low. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Threads.
It's one of those things where the juggling we're talking about, it's just I haven't been able to add that, bowling pin to my juggling. It's just too much. I just focus on one thing at a time, and short firm is not something I'm focusing
Go the
on right
ninja
now.
route. Live everywhere.
No.
That's what he's trying to do, right? But
Yeah, Twitch blocked them.
yo, speaking of exactly that, great transitioned into topic number 2. Is Kick blocking gambling and also pools, hot tubs, and whatever it's beaches, right?
Mhm.
That you can toggle both of them off independently. I personally think incredible move by Kick. Like, I'm super impressed that they did that. That is,
And how fast they did it. So there's no like Amazon red tape and things like that you probably have at Twitch.
we were just talking about this last week. You know how impactful the gambling we felt like was to that platform. So incredibly interesting to see that they're already making moves to limit the amount of exposure people are having to gambling from their literal parent company, right? So I feel like Kick is making moves that make sense to me, for less and less people are going to go, man, I feel like there's no reason that I shouldn't move over. Now, does it make sense for people like us? Still no, I would say. Still no.
I mean, we're already established. I think most people that you're seeing are very excited to be over there weren't really very established on uh, Twitch or other platforms and are finding success there because it's new and it's exciting and all these things. And good for them. I think people are gonna. There's certain people that are gonna blow up there. I can recall somebody who actually streams on Kick now. But I remember this guy like Jared FPS. Do you know that name at all? Does it ring a bell?
It sounds.
It might ring a bell for some people out there.
It does ring a bell.
When Mixer first started, he was a small creator and jumped to Mixer, I think before Shroud and Ninja were there, and was having some pretty legitimate success over there because PUBG was still pretty popular. I believe it was PUBG. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. And he grew from
Sounds
that
right.
there. And then those guys came over. Platform got a little bit bigger. He grew with it. But he's on Kick now. And like, I mean, I saw a clip of him just like gambling on Kick. So I don't know exactly what like what happened there, but he was doing well as far as I know, and like that opportunity is able to happen for other creators on Kick, I'm sure, as well.
I think the reason why you're seeing like these creators go over and them exposing themselves to gambling is probably because it's almost probably like groupthink. Do you know how like people will come in your chat and you weren't really willing to do something until like a couple of people are like, you know, oh, you should play this game, you should check this out, blah, 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 whatever. And so they're probably having people come into their, you know, their stream who are, you know, fans of seeing people, you know, gamble or like slot machines or whatever. And they'd be like, yo, you should switch over to the gambling category. You should pull some blah, 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 whatever. Or the other option is maybe he got a deal from Kick. And
could be
because I did hear that, you know, smaller creators than XQC, like creators our size, are getting deals. They're not for $100 million. They're for substantially less, like a sponsorship for us, basically. But they're getting deals. So maybe, you know, a deal with Kick, you would have to work that in. It's interesting.
Do you know who Rice Gum is?
I vaguely know who Rice Gum is. Vaguely.
Like insanely toxic YouTuber, okay?
He's a lot like Ice Poseidon, from what I understand.
He is
Worse?
not. No,
Worse?
like he is, but isn't. I wouldn't say worse, just different. Like Ice Poseidon is like an enigma. There's nobody like Ice Poseidon, right? Who apparently is in jail right now in Thailand.
Oh my god, dude! I heard about this. So
Yeah.
now that you bring this up, Ice Poseidon looking potentially at 5 years in Thai prison because he gave someone a lap dance on stream on Kick.
Yeah, but it's some Thai law. Like they're very strict about like girls that do OF have been like arrested and things like that. Like there's just some so it's like, and it's under that guise that he's in trouble apparently.
Thailand that you're not allowed to if you're a tourist, they don't want you like hooking up with locals or something.
I don't know.
I forget. Maybe it was Bali. I can't remember. But man, there's some interesting laws out there for sure. That scares me as someone who, not that I plan on moving overseas anytime, but it's like, you move somewhere that you think is like really cool and unique. I'm not saying that Ice Beside isn't a troublemaker, but you think that you're going to have this awesome experience there, like living in this like unique, cool place with these cool people, and then you just don't know any of the laws. But we like here, we know all the laws because we've grown up around them. So we like know the laws in America, but you go somewhere else and the laws could be completely different. You forget that there's a couple of big ones that are typically universal, no stealing, no murder, no, doing illegal drugs or stuff like that. Right. But, you move into the more, but someone getting a lap dance, right? Like, or only, the OF.
Well, apparently it wasn't even him. He got in trouble because he's the one who broadcasted it. But apparently it was like the girl he was giving a lap dance to was like showing too much.
Oh, so she's in trouble, not him?
No, he is, because he's the one who broadcasted it.
Well, I saw a clip briefly.
Well, I saw what he was wearing.
Yeah, and that's what I thought was the problem. He was wearing like basically lingerie is what he was wearing, like for men, essentially. Or is like as close as you could get without it being that. So I thought maybe that was
like
the
goofing
problem.
around, like that's the kind of guy he is. And now not so much, but yeah,
so
Rice
interesting,
Gum,
man.
basically, like to get to what we're talking about, Rice Gum is just like kind of came from that era, just like total, just goofball, like toxic early YouTuber, right? There's a lot of stuff going on with early YouTubers these days, are like people are finding out about them. This guy was not hiding it then, is not hiding his like goofiness now. And I'm using goofy in the best way possible, right? It's much worse than goofy. And he like laid out a bunch of hats, and it was like YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Rumble, and maybe something else. And he said that he was choosing between Kick and Rumble. And the Kick deal was telling him he, like, part of the deal was he had to gamble. And the Rumble deal didn't. And that's why he took Rumble.
I'm telling you,
I don't believe
man.
a thing this dude says, though.
Maybe,
like, this guy is
true.
the biggest goofball on the planet. But I don't believe a thing he says. But
I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, you're right.
Said.
He's not a reliable source. We probably shouldn't trust him.
Not at all. But I'm just saying what he said. That's it.
Right. Yeah. For legal reasons.
So, yes. So I don't believe it. I'm just
interesting
reporting what he said. But yeah, it's a weird one. But like, so it's one of those things where I still look at Kick in not the best light yet, but they are they definitely look like they are trying to do the right things to fix their image, I guess maybe is the best way to say it. I don't know.
Move in a more positive light, for sure.
Yeah, change minds or whatever. And I think if of all the platforms that have come around, I think Kick has the best chance of like sticking around and potentially having some success. So
I think they have a better chance than Mixer did, for the sole reason is it seems they are hell-bent on beating Twitch. And it didn't feel like to me like Mixer was hell-bent on beating Twitch. It like I feel like Kick is playing dirty almost. And I mean that in a good way. A
little bit. Yeah.
Like the whole non-exclusive contracts, we talked about this a little bit. I feel like that's a marketing move. Hey guys, let's go finish our stream over on Kick. See you there. Boom, switch over. And they're not exclusively locked into Kick. So now they're constantly, over the months and over the 2 years that they have this contract, constantly bringing people over slowly. Boom, boom, boom. More people. So and not only that, but they're taking all the things that people hate about Twitch and they're making that their rally cry of like, this is why we're better. Oh, you guys don't like, gambling? We're going to make it where it's optional. You guys don't like, hot tubs and pools? We're going to make that optional too. You guys don't like the 50-50 split? We're going to do 95. Like every single move they're making is in direct correlation of what Twitch is doing. It feels like, at least.
Well, Yeah, it feels like, and I think it also is like they're listening to their community and definitely kind of actioning the feedback that they're getting, which I mean, Twitch is not doing that. And I just wrote this in our like little doc that we like use to kind of like make sure we stay on topic a little bit. Is I saw today on Twitter that there was the head of like money making or like the ad guy on Twitch, the guy who came on stage and talked about how they were doing ads and all these things. The ad incentive guy basically is I don't know his
I
name. I think
love
his
that
name's
guy.
Mike.
Ads are great. Let me
Oh
let
yeah,
me
we
hear what he
love
had to
them. I
say.
love the way they do it on Twitch. Well, they were talking about how they want to transform like clips into
Uh,
more of like a TikTok shorts kind of thing, which
super
guys,
smart.
like anybody who knows like Harris Heller, the dude's been saying that for 4 years. 3 years probably. It was probably right around like 2020 is when he started popping off and saying these things. Like they've been given that feedback a long time. Look at how long it took
Absolutely.
them to action it and then Kick is like, "Hey, uh the whole gambling side of your website making you look bad," and they're like, "Oh, well, you could just hide it." Like in like days, or not years, not months, not weeks, days, right? Like maybe weeks, but still, it's like very, very
It
different.
felt
And
like a,
if
a
they keep
very
up with
fast
that,
turnaround.
yeah, if they keep up with that, then I mean, it actually seems like a legitimate competitor, even
Yeah.
compared to YouTube. You know, which is
Yeah. Yeah.
obviously a legitimate competitor in that space.
Yeah. And how long until Twitch is going to implement these clips? Are they going to be good? You know,
Yeah.
is there going to be any staying power to it? Is it only going to be on mobile? Is it going to be on browser too? Will the experience feel anything like TikTok? Because let's be honest, when it comes to like short form videos and scrolling, TikToks and YouTube Shorts have basically got it nailed. You know, like it doesn't really get better than what they have in terms of short form content, right? I guess
I don't
maybe extremely short form.
I don't do it anymore because I don't need to. I actually had to maintain a Facebook page. Not maintain a Facebook page, but I had to go on Facebook when I was still dealing poker because we had all of our we had like a group, like a Facebook group for the dealers, and then the supervisor staff or the management staff would be like, announcement. This is what's going on this week or whatever. So like we needed
Hmm.
to be there to see these announcements. So I would have to log into Facebook and look at it all the time. And that I caught myself scrolling on shorts on Facebook more than any other platform for some reason. I don't have TikTok, so I never did there,
Interesting.
but less on. I don't know why. I think it was because it was just totally weird algorithm in comparison to like my video game one. So it was just like some weird. I was just weird stuff, you know, and I was just like, "What is
Yeah,
happening?"
I bet they have a good one too. I got to be honest, I haven't been on the Facebook one or the
It's just Instagram Reels.
Oh, Instagram. Okay, I haven't been. I've
Yeah,
been on Instagram a little bit, and yeah, I would agree. They it seems like they are basically trying to be in that same vein. And yeah, like I said, but if they fall outside of that in terms of its like watchability, then I probably won't last, right? Like people are
mhm.
just going to go get their short form content from somewhere else. But we'll see. Like you said, we don't even know when they're going to implement it. It could be a
Live
while.
stream, it's what like the difference is like the live stream ones are going to be like TikToks are edited, curated. Shorts typically edited, curated, right? Live stream clips. This is like the one thing that they have here is this has a chance to be completely unique from any other uh like it's not unique because it's just gonna be like live stream fails, just bang, bang, over and over again. Like the scrolling opportunity for me, I think is gonna be I might spend more time
Let's
there
see.
than anywhere else.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah. Or it's just gonna be pools, hot tubs, scroll. Because if you've ever watched like if you've ever gone to a clip page, if let's say you're watching a Star Citizen clip, if you look below at the recommended, so I imagine whatever's recommended will be the next thing that you scroll to, is always those things for some reason.
Mike,
What are you
talking
there's
about,
no
bro?
algorithm.
What are you
Don't
talking
start.
I never
There's
get
no
those
algorithm.
videos.
There's no algorithm there.
I never get those
all based
videos,
on
bro.
views.
Hey, listen,
No.
dude, I get puppy dogs and cooking video. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's always like those kind of clips for sure. And I think that's because
For me, they're not even English.
oh well, I mean, I don't really watch.
They're like Korean and stuff.
I gotta be honest.
It's super
you
weird.
know how often I watch clips on Twitch? So rare.
Whenever a viewer sends them to me, that's
Exactly.
basically the only
When
time.
they drop
It's
them
like,
in
oh,
chat.
did you see what Berks did? And they'll send a clip. But below that, it has nothing to do with Star Citizen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But
yeah, it's super weird.
No algorithm for that. That is weird. It should at least keep you in the same category or give you a few suggestions, right? But yeah, no algorithm for that. It's typically probably the ones that are just the most clickable, right? Like, and
whatever has the most views in the last little bit is really all it feels
right.
like.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a view thing, clickable, whatever.
Yeah, and I think because I'm streaming at the early morning US hours, is that when I get a clip, it's all these like evening Korea, Australia time. So it's whatever's popping off at that moment is what I'm seeing there.
I do think that I see that kind of stuff too.
I'm sorry, I haven't watched a StarCraft stream since 2013. Right? So like I don't know why anything like that would come up for me. So yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely needs help. It needs help for sure. Okay, yo. Next up, I feel like this is a good point to work into the next topic. Is I don't feel like this is going to be long-winded. The Go XLR, a TC Helicon, is that how you say their name? I don't even know. But the drama around them.
But the Go XLR.
Yeah, Go XLR.
Do you use one?
I do. Do you?
No.
I've been thinking about transitioning off for a while before this.
Cleaning what I use so I can show.
Okay, great.
It's dusty.
Great. I've been thinking about transitioning off long before. And the reason mainly is because a couple of things is because I've just seen some really impressive looking substitutes out there. And the reason why I got to Go XLR was because all the features on it with the soundboard and all that. You want to know how many times I've used the soundboard on my Go XLR?
Like none.
In the 4 years I've had it, 0. None. Yeah. So I just need the different sliders for application.
Berk Macklin FBI or whatever, right? You use that with it.
That's true. That's true. The voice changer's nice. But
I believe that can be done with a Stream Deck though as well now.
I think so too, through voice mod, right? So that's not a huge deal. We can get that, and that would actually be great because the voice mod has like these new like voice substitute, like they call it AI voice generation, where like I can talk and I sound like someone completely different, and that's great for me because when I talk to people in game, they instantly recognize me, and it blows.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about
very recognizable voice. I don't have that problem, but I think you have a very recognizable voice.
Yeah, right.
Do you think I have one? I just think they don't recognize me because I'm usually not playing with US people.
I feel like I would recognize you in game if you talk to me. I've recognized Cutlet before in game.
He is very recognizable.
He's very recognizable for sure. There are some people I've ran into that I haven't recognized. Okay, that looks great. What is that? The beacon? Is that what it's called?
Yes, and it's very relevant to the story because the guys who made Beacon are, to give some context to the TC Helicon stuff in the Go XLR, is they are no longer supporting, or at least they said they're no longer going to be supporting. Like in a way, they fired everybody.
They fired like an entire team in Canada. I think Canada. Yeah.
Yes.
And they were the primary guys working on the software, from what we understand.
That were left because the guys who made Beacon were the people who made that software.
Interesting. So they left.
They left a long time ago to make their own thing. And this is just like a cell phone screen with some knobs on it. So it's just an interface to move the software knobs up and down. So they have very similar, very, I think, powerful software from that, with their knowledge of making the Go XLR stuff. So I swapped a long time ago. I love it. I've heard other people have not the best experiences with it, but I didn't. It took a little while to set up. It took a little while to figure out, but great Discord, and I went there anytime I had a problem. They fixed every issue I had.
Hmm.
So I
Cool.
I thought it was great. But they also tweeted the Go XLR company tweeted like it was so awkward, and it does not exude confidence at all.
I saw
The
it.
1 out of 4, do you see? And they didn't know how to tweet. So they go, all right, they type a blurb out like everything's gonna be okay, 1 out of 4. And then they didn't reply under it. They made another tweet. So nobody saw it. But they did it 4 different times. So you have to find
instead of the
tweets.
thread.
Oh, it was so bad. So it was just like, I have no confidence.
Yeah,
I have no confidence.
It was definitely a very awkward approach to handling the situation, and definitely a bit out of touch, like you're saying, with the posting on Twitter and not knowing what you're doing. But it's do I think that Go XLR is going to disappear off the face of the planet and I'm not going to be able to use it a week from now? Probably not. It'll probably be fine. And not only that, but they've also talked about developing a new software. The guys who got fired were saying that there's a software in development that supports Go XLR for both Linux and Windows. Now, someone said that I was wrong about that and it's only Linux. I could be wrong, but whenever I went back and read it, it seems like they were saying there is a third-party software that's going to work for Go XLR. It will continue to be supported. Open source. It's open source, and it's supposed to support Linux and Windows. From what I heard, I could be wrong. It might just be Linux. But that being said,
in the end, there are so many options now.
Exactly. So what I was going to say.
Yeah, sorry if I just interrupted
you
saying it, but yeah, there are so many options now, from Beacon to the Wave software from Elgato. You have the Stream Deck that utilizes that with the knobs now. That's almost exactly the same as the Beacon that I use.
Rode has even a semi.
Rode came out with a new thing. Yeah. So there's so much out there that in the end, it was semi-good software with the very cool hardware knobs that would go up and down. It was neat.
I never loved my Go XLR. I never loved it, but it really did me well. Like, I can't say it's not done me well, because it's done me extremely well. It's a great piece of hardware that I really do love. And the only thing is, with the Beacon, does it support XLR?
You do not plug a mic into it.
Right. So I don't have that option.
This is their mic too. It's a USB mic.
Sounds great.
Well, another thing, like, this is turning into like a Beacon ad, and I'm not sponsored.
If you're watching, call the number and click the link at the bottom of the screen.
They actually have a referral program. I keep forgetting to sign up for it. I really should, because I really believe in this stuff. I'm a big fan of it. It's a USB mic, dude, and they have like software that automatically makes me sound. I've barely touched it, and it makes you sound pretty good.
Oh,
so
nice. How much is it again?
I don't know, but it's not cheap. So almost 300.
300 for just the mic.
I think. Yeah.
Wow.
It's not cheap. That's
like a SM7B almost.
Yep. But no cloud lifter, no audio interface, all the extra stuff.
I don't have a cloud lifter. I just go straight into the Go XLR.
Oh, because you have the Go XLR, so you don't need to. Yeah.
I'll probably run this thing into the ground, most likely. The Go XLR.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
And there'll be something great. There's already great options to move to, and there'll probably be something better by the time it's dead. I just prefer plug and play. I don't want to think about. I hate audio so much that I wanted to remove as many breaking points as possible.
And that's where I've gotten with my audio, basically. But man, you will agree with me here, probably. With a dual PC setup, it gets painful sometimes. Yeah. It gets painful, and there's no way around that. I would switch to a one PC setup if I felt confident I could give the same type of I guess video quality that I have, but I feel like I don't. I feel like I couldn't. So,
No.
2 PC setup for now. I'd say 2 PC setup for now. But
I think forever for me.
Yeah.
I love it. Think about like we play a game that is still very much in development. Have you ever had a complete hard Star Citizen crash, right? Where you have to
You mean
restart your computer.
Yeah.
You would have to restart your stream.
You're right. Absolutely. I just say, like, you don't know what the future holds, right?
No.
So we could move into an era where PCs just become extremely powerful, right? And I'm talking about a while from now, but yeah, I would like that to be an option.
Games will always push that limit then.
But if you look at the big streamers, they're almost 100% of them are rocking dual PC, and there's a reason why, right? So,
yeah.
All right.
I don't know. Speaking of big streamers,
moving into our main topic for today.
Yeah, we're bad at this.
Do you want to guess? Do you want to guess how long it's been? You don't get a timer.
Are we at an hour?
We're at 39 minutes.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
You feeling good about that?
I think we could cover. Yeah, I think we could cover this.
Oh yeah, I mean, I loved talking about the other stuff as well. I mean, I like talking about what's happening in the world, so that's great. Cool. So, do you just want to start from the top of these questions, or do you want to talk about you want to talk about your intro into the streaming experience? What was your first stream you watched? Yeah, your brother?
My brother. Yeah.
Was it on Twitch?
So, yeah, I actually brought it up while we were talking about the Korean StarCraft streams or whatever.
That was the stream you were talking about.
Yeah, my little brother was like I don't think it was the highest rank in StarCraft 2, but the second highest rank. Like, he was pretty good at it. And he would watch how Twitch started started growing is one of the most popular categories was StarCraft tournaments, things like that. And oh my God, the chats were amazing. And my brother, my first introduction was my brother watching a stream. I was like, what is this? And he was like, oh, this is Twitch. It's like a video game tournament or something. And I just remember not caring about the tournament. I was just watching how troll and stupid the chat was. And I was instantly drawn to it. It was so funny. And he was explaining me the emotes. He taught me Kappa, 2012, 2013.
Okay.
Something like that. Maybe earlier. I don't remember when it switched, but from Justin TV to Twitch, but it was Twitch at that time. I was not around in the Justin TV days. But I remember him explaining, because back in the day, Kappa, all the emotes, you couldn't wave your mouse over it and see the code and how to say it. You had to know how to type it. And people would troll, people would ask how do you type this emote? And people would just say different names for it. That's actually why I have my for people who watch my stream, my every channel has a prefix to their emotes. Mine is Gray, Grey, because the meme back then was, in order to type Kappa, it was gray face, but with no spaces, capital G, capital F. And they would say, if you want to type this emote, you type this. And then everybody would spam gray face, and it would just do nothing. So I was like,
cool.
This is available. I want to make gray face as one of my emotes, and then it not be Kappa. It would be my gray face or something like that. And then Twitch blocked it and then made it an April Fool's joke a few years later. They stole it. Yep.
That's insane.
But that's a little lore there. But that's my first introduction to Twitch, was that. What was yours?
I think my introduction to Twitch was, I watched back in the day, way back in the day. My brother was a big gamer at the time. I was taking a break from gaming. It was immature. It was beneath me. These peasants who were addicted to their computers. I
wasn't really gaming at the time either. It brought me back.
Well, basically,
poker.
I had seen my brother and his friends watching a Dota tournament, and I thought, I saw it, and I was like, man, there's no way, like this goes anywhere. And then they were telling me it was like a
What year
multi-million
was
dollar
this?
prize. It was like 2013, you know, or 2012, somewhere around there. And it was like at the inception of Twitch. And I had seen this Dota tournament, and I heard that it had like a $10 million prize pool or something. And I was like, what? For like a video game? Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like, who would like
More people were watching it than the Super Bowl and stuff.
more
These
people were watching it
tournaments.
than the Super Bowl is what I heard. And they said that, and I was like, that's fake. Like, that's not real. I didn't believe it, right? Obviously, I believe it now, but at the time, I was just like, there's no way. Like, is it just big somewhere else that's not America? That's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, oh, is it like soccer where...
With Dota, that's kind of what it was.
Well, sure, absolutely. It definitely had more influence in other places, but that wasn't the reason why it was growing, you know, so exponentially. It was because there's this massive interest in like online digital content. Now gaming, we talked about this last week, biggest industry, entertainment industry on the planet by far. It's insane. You know, mobile trumping everything. But after that, I didn't see Twitch for a long time until I started playing Destiny 1. And then me and my friends who played Destiny together would watch the people who were racing to be the first people to beat the raids whenever they came out. And we would watch them and then try to beat it ourselves, like compete with them. And of course, we're getting absolutely crushed, you know, because we're just a bunch of casuals at the time. And, you know, these guys are like doing this for a living. And I can't even remember the guy's name who I was watching at the time, but he was a big PvP Destiny streamer. And it was so cool watching like the hype around these people try to race to be the first people, and they'd like switch over to one team, and they were like, you know, almost done, and then another team, they were streaming, and they were like figuring out another piece, and then there was all this drama because, you know, someone would figure out a piece of the puzzle, and then the other people would figure it out immediately. Because someone in the chat said to do something, you know, because there was this one part of the raid where they had to like jump into the, you know, monster's mouth. And they're like, how did you know how to do that immediately without like trying it ever before? And it's because like they were getting information from the other stream. And so there's like this drama and chat hoppers. It was just so interesting to me. But when Twitch became magical to me, when it became a big deal, is when I fell in love with PUBG. And I started watching streamers. You know, I was watching Summit, I was watching Shroud, I was watching, you know, Dr. Disrespect, and all of a sudden Twitch went from being this thing that I didn't want really anything to do with, or I watched occasionally with my gamer friends, to it became like my life. Like I wanted to be a part of this community. And have I ever told you about this? Like how I first got my toes into streaming?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, and then you get to tell me why you started streaming and how you started streaming. But when I first started streaming, if you guys are listening, you don't know, I have a twin brother, and his name is Jay. And me and Jay had decided, we were so in love with PUBG, we were so in love with Twitch, we were going to start a stream together. And it was called Player Red and Blue, was our pitch for it. Okay. And the whole idea is we were going to be on screen together. It was going to swap between our gameplay. We were running 100-foot HDMI cables through our house. I am well aware that you're not supposed to do that, but we were doing it. You know, we were trying to figure out how to like zoom each other. There was no OBS Ninja back in the day. There was no Discord calling and sending over your stream. We were trying to figure out, we were thinking about knocking holes in the wall to make the distance for our HDMI cables to be shorter. And let me tell you, when we streamed 3 times together, got mad at each other, butted heads, and then never streamed together again, that was literally what happened.
You guys were playing PUBG together.
We're playing PUBG together.
When didn't you yell at your teammates and blame your teammates?
Absolutely, 100%. But we just
was
did
never
not.
My fault.
Yeah, well, it's hard to stream with someone else, really, whenever you don't have that kind of synergy. And not only that, but it was confusing because me and my brother have the same voice. So people would watch the stream and get confused when I was talking or when someone else was talking. Or that happens today, dude. That happens today when I play with my brother. People will get confused and it's like a little disorienting. And I understand that. So Player Red and Blue, we streamed 3 times and then my brother's like, I'm tapping out. I can't do this anymore. And I'm like, you know, begging him. I'm like, when are we going to get back at it? When are we going to get back at it? And he's like, I'm done. And I'm like, okay, well, it was a good run. And a week or two later, you know what this motherfucker does? He starts his own stream without me.
Get him, Jay.
He starts his own stream without me. And I'm livid. I'm upset. I'm shook to my core. I'm like, how could this? I thought we were supposed to be in this together. And he's like doing his own thing. He's got like this red bandana on. That was like his whole thing back in the day.
He was player red.
Yeah. He had a red bandana on, and so his name back in the day was Jay Biggles. That's what he started going by. He ditched the player red thing completely. It's gone. That Twitch account probably exists still, but it's gone. And I was just like devastated, because I was just like, I thought we were in this together. I thought it was going well, and as well as 3 streams can go. And so at the time I was doing humanitarian documentary work, like traveling the world. And I'd taken a couple of months after he started streaming. I was thinking about, do I want to do this? Do I want to try this? Whatever. And I was in like the middle of nowhere, Africa. And I was just like thinking about like streaming and like, should I start a stream? Should I do my own thing? And I was watching a show. Have you ever heard it? It's called Final Space.
No.
Amazing show. If you haven't seen it, it's like it's kind of like a more lighthearted, like think of a more family friendly like Rick and Morty. It's got like goofy, quirky jokes, and there's like wacky characters, and it's made by Olin Rogers. And funny enough, the art director, my emotes are based on a character from that show. And the art director found my channel and was like, dude, your emotes are so cool. Like, I love them, man. Like really cool moment. But I was watching that show and I was like, I got it, bro. Captain Berks, Space Captain. I'm going to play a character on stream. It's going to be huge. I'm going to be like the next Dr. Disrespect. I'm going to play PUBG on stream. Like, I'm thinking in my head, this is going to be huge. And I start my stream, bro, 1 viewer. And it's me watching myself on my phone. And that was like my intro into it. And for the first like 6 months of my stream, I played Call of Duty Blackout. It was like the new battle royale at the time. PUBG was kind of like on its way out a little bit. People were looking for something else. And that's really how I got my start before I found Star Citizen.
That's wild.
But I was full character, green screen, Star Trek shirt, talked in a captain's voice, would do like this whole get up.
Like, because when you first came into Star Citizen, you were wearing, and I was like, what is this nerd doing with the Star Trek shirt? I never like watched or anything, but I was thinking what's with the Star Trek shirt? Is he another one of these Trekkie guys or whatever? But I never knew any of this
Do you
lore.
want to hear
This
something
is so
funny, bro? I have like basically never watched Star Trek ever. I've basically never watched it.
I have a little bit, but I am not like to the level of, and I only started after playing Star Citizen and everybody telling me how good some of these shows were.
Yeah.
I loved Deep Space Nine. I thought that was like one of the best shows.
Watch it. I should.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
I really should.
It was really good. And then I always forget the name of it, but it was like the origin story of like the first ship or whatever. I always forget the name of it though, but that was really good too. But those are the only 2 I watched, and then I tried other ones, and it's just like, I don't know. I never got super into it. I preferred Star Wars over the other stuff, like other space stuff, I guess.
I will say I love sci-fi, and every time I've seen Star Trek or seen an episode or a movie, I've loved it.
They've always been good.
Like, contrary to a lot of people's opinion, I really liked the J.J. Abrams movies. I didn't love the third one, but I really liked the first 2.
I never saw the third one.
Yeah, the third one I watched on a plane, which may have hindered my experience a little bit, but it just felt a little wacky, quirky, like a sequel that shouldn't have been made kind of deal. But I thought the first one was excellent. Second one too, but yeah, I've always liked Star Trek. I just have not gotten around to watching it. Maybe I should.
Yeah.
But
yeah, maybe.
What about you? I've never heard like how you got your start into streaming. I don't think.
It was actually very much. It's very much, well, the name was, I never intended to be a streamer. Like I just went with it, not expecting anyone to watch or not expecting it to turn into anything. It's weird though, because I did kind of go into it similar to the way you said, like, this is going to be big. because I thought it was easy, right? So my what I loved about Twitch is exactly what I said about the tournament. Is I loved like the toxic chat, the just spammy ridiculousness, $1 donations of the like your stream just like absolutely dumpstering you and everything. And like those were just streams I loved watching. Like they were just the I'm sorry, the streamers back then were not the entertainer. It was the chat making fun of them and the way the streamer reacted to that, like and how they cultivated all this was like what was so amazing.
Hmm.
And I used to watch this guy who got banned. It was so toxic. It was so like politically incorrect on so many levels. Like today, he can't stream on Twitch. He's been banned for life, I'm pretty sure. But today, like this shit would never fly. His name was like Good Idea Gaming. He played Diablo 3, and I would fall asleep to him. But it was like
It's romantic.
that engagement was it's romantic. Yeah, it was just like, come on, Diablo 3 was just he played like drum and bass music and just was just killing monsters all day. I had no idea what was going on, but his chat would just make fun of him and he would make fun of them, and it was just so good. He would just always take it too far and eventually got banned. But I think he actually got banned for not controlling his chat, which was one of the
Wow.
things that are like a big thing today. Yeah, because they would just get out of control, and it would be like him, Soda Poppin'. I watched a lot of Summit, but I think Summit was more of like the wow, this guy's pretty good at games, entertainment. Like he was more of today's Twitch even back then. He was just like very good with that. But like those, I guess like him, Summit, Soda, uh I don't
Soda's a good
know.
one.
Yeah, like a little bit of like Ice Poseidon when he first started because he was such an enigma. It was just so crazy back then. But I was already streaming by the time Ice was there. I got into it because I wanted that experience. And I didn't necessarily like want to make hundreds of thousands of dollars like they were at the time, but I thought I could because it just seemed easy. So everything I did was to try to cultivate this community of just stupid, like just stupid. And I think I still have the most stupid of our little Star Citizen community. So like I think I've done like an okay job,
Whoa,
but
whoa,
it's
whoa.
not what
Listen, my community is the most stupid, okay? All right. You
I
don't
don't
take that.
know.
You're not taking that. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. Mine's pretty bad. But the I think that's it's never hit the level that I've wanted it to be.
Hmm.
You know, like when there's moments to for like stupid stuff to happen, the emotes don't fly the way they did back then, right? The like crazy pog moments, the pogs don't fly the way they did, and like just chat spamming and all that stuff. It just doesn't happen that way. There's still a lot of chats that are like that, and I still frequent them today. Like Quinn69 is one that's like just still old Twitch, Forsen still old Twitch in a lot of ways. But those streams are dying, man. But that's really what I got into Twitch for, and what I'm still here looking for, and
Hmm.
still trying to have. And I've noticed I've been taking it more seriously, and I've been kind of making that go away, and then at the same time, maybe not enjoying streaming as much because of it.
Hmm.
So I need to like chill out more and like allow that stuff to just come back to the surface.
I think it's good to like level out sometimes, right? Like, you know
Yeah.
what I do is sometimes I'll think to myself, man, I am taking my chat way too seriously. Like,
hmm
someone will make an insult to me and I should just let it roll off my back. I should, when someone makes an insult or when someone makes fun of me or when someone says something that's rude, like what I need to say is, oh man, like why you got to do me like that? Or like, snap back at them, like,
That's
oh,
what I
I
mean.
bet
I look at it as an
I,
opportunity
yeah, exactly.
for fun. It's
Oh,
like, okay,
Berks.
you
Yeah,
made fun of me. It's game on then. Now I am absolutely within my rights to dumpster on you
absolutely.
in any way possible to make the chat laugh.
Absolutely. 100%.
You open the door.
And sometimes I just get in these like, and it's something that people don't talk about enough with streaming. And I don't know how much you believe in this, but it's like you need to like really keep your mental health in check in terms of like streaming, because you are always, there is not another job out there that I can think of where you are on constantly for 8 hours, you know, or, you know, for us, it depends.
3.5.
3.5 G's, dude. Well, I mean, a typical
the
stream for me
week, maybe.
A typical stream for me is 6. But it's like I'm putting other effort into like YouTube and like other stuff, right? So it's like I can't stream 40 hours a week and then still have the energy to do the other stuff. So, but 6 that's my typical stream. If the game is good, or if like I have a good update, or if there's a good game that's out that I'm playing, it's 8, it's 10, it's 12, right?
Yeah, same. It's 3.5 for me for the reasons you said, is to like try and keep, like, I've just not been feeling great, like mentally about it, and I'm like, all right, well, I'd rather take off a little bit early and just focus my energy somewhere else for a little bit, or just try and be happier. So, because I found myself snapping on people like in the not funny way, right? Like I was like mad at somebody the other day for something they did in a video game, and like I let it out on them in front of everybody. Like there was no need for that. It was so stupid.
And listen, man, I don't think that it's like everyone's just human at the end of the day. And I think that viewers
I had a moment.
Viewers need to remember that it's like, you know, we're just human, man. We're doing our best, but it's definitely up to us to cultivate the environments that we want, right? Yeah. Like we've got to be your chat is a mirror of you, 100%. So if you're goofy, if you're making jokes, if you're laughing with them, they're going to be laughing, they're going to be talking too. If you don't read any chat, if you don't make any jokes ever, your chat's going to be dead as heck. And I mean, this is for you up and coming content creators or people thinking, how do I make my stream better? You are a reflection of your chat, right? Yeah. So if nobody's chatting, dude, you keep on talking. You keep on making jokes. You keep on talking and making jokes. Like there's 500 people in chat right now talking and spamming. That's what I've always said. But looping back to what I originally said, I think personally that doing a short stream or keeping your mental health in check or doing things for that so that you can stream long term is better than getting burnt out and quitting, right? And you know, you see a lot of these big streamers take a month off, you know, and they have the luxury to do that. They have the luxury to do that, right? I did something like that. I played a different game for a month back when 316 was out. But it's all about like getting revitalized, getting inspired, watching other streamers, and then figuring out what you're doing wrong in the most healthy way possible, and then figuring out how I can make better content, right? Like who are some people that you watch whenever you're like trying to get like revitalized, inspired, like you want to or like you watch them and you're like, man, I need to stream more like that guy. I need to make content more like that guy. Like, who are those people for you? Are they like the people you named?
A little bit, maybe. I think it's for when I'm like looking to be inspired. Honestly, I find myself more on YouTube than on Twitch.
Fair enough.
I think the metas or whatever's like really popular on Twitch is just not something that I would do regularly. Like it's very much like these like Ludwig, like OTK type of stuff where it's like game shows and like really sort of like IRL stuff maybe, and it's just not what I would do. But I do find like I instead of I don't know. It's weird. I've maybe like Mizkif or maybe like Asmin or something like that. Like just people that are somewhat similar to me. Mizkif not really at all, but I get called the Asmin of Star Citizen a lot. I don't know. And like I didn't watch him that much until people started saying that stuff. And then I watched him and I was like, yeah, I kind of like the way he streams, and it's I do see the similarities, right? He doesn't play very many video games and watches a lot of videos. So it's pretty similar at this point. That? I mean,
man, I went on an Asmin binge for a while. Like I think it was last year for like 6 months. All the content that I consumed, outside of Twitch. I didn't watch any Netflix. I didn't like watch any YouTube videos. I would just like, well, I guess I did. I would go to YouTube and I'd watch like Asmon Reacts videos. And I don't know why, but I just loved them for like 6 months. And then I was like, nah, I'm over this. But not that I think Asmon's a great creator. And
I don't go a day, I think, without watching
really,
at least one.
Really?
Yeah.
It's I think he's a great creator. I guess I kind of consumption for me comes in like waves, right? Like where I'll be like really into like a media or like a certain type of video or whatever, and then I'll be like, okay, whatever. Like I'm over it. Like
what are you into now?
Oh, what am I into right now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's tough, man. I do really enjoy watching like. What are you talking about? Are you talking about like creative content, or are you like what am I watching in my free time?
What are you watching in your free time?
These days I'm watching a lot of anime, right? Because literally, dude,
my God.
listen,
Waves out, dude.
listen, weebs rise up. Don't let Mike bully you, okay? Don't let Mike bully you. I have never watched so much anime than I have in the last 6 months, mainly because I am dating a woman who I love, and she is the biggest anime nerd I've ever seen in my life.
Bro, anime people are like CrossFitters and vegans. I swear. Does she go to CrossFit, or is she vegan also by any chance? Oh my God. Thank God. You can only have one of those things. Because I swear,
they're like the Infinity Stones.
Yeah,
they're too powerful.
Exactly. Like all they do is it's like almost like religion. Like they're like, you got to get converted, dude. It's so important.
There is some anime out there that's
it's just
pretty
something that they
insane.
love and they want to share it with you. I'm obviously just memeing, right?
Of course. But
your girlfriend seems great.
She's awesome.
I feel like I'm shitting on her, and I don't mean it that way at all.
Listen. If you're Angie, if you're watching, Mike doesn't hate you. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
So she has a goal of being considered a library with manga, which is 1,000 books. She's up to like 650. So,
Jesus.
Which, I mean, you do the math, like $10 to $20 a book, right? So basically, she's a Starsus and Legatus in anime.
Nope. But she actually got something out of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I personally, I've really enjoyed this like anime wave that I've been writing, but it's so funny because we have like anime we watch together and anime that she wants me to watch by myself, like homework, and then there's like anime.
Oh my God, this is serious.
Well, it's because like, we're trying to get me up to speed because she's like, oh, there's this new season coming out and I want to watch with you.
Catching up.
I'm catching up. And then, dude, don't even get me started on One Piece. 1,000 episodes that I haven't even started. And she's like...
And is she caught up?
She's caught up.
Oh,
she's caught up. I'm screwed. I'm totally screwed.
The thing is like, speaking of content that I watch, and like Asmon's related to this, is I watch a very similar podcast to what we're doing here, which is Steak and Eggs. And it's Asmon, Emaru, and Tectone, and they all just talk about whatever, and they often talk about anime. And they were talking about One Piece and how the beginning of the episode is like what happened last week. The end of the episode is what's going to happen next week. So there's very little that happens in the episode because it's only like X amount of minutes long. So like you can get to the 1,000 episodes like kind of quick, I guess, if you skip that stuff.
Yes, and so there's a legal version of One Piece. That's called
I heard.
It's called One Piece.
They talked about that too.
And so
yeah.
The idea is they cut out all the fluff, all the heavy breathing scenes where like we're staring at each other intensely, ready to like fisticuff. They cut that all out, so it's quick, fast paced, and I don't know even where you'd stream it. Probably on some illegal streaming site because it's technically pirated. But it's edited down. But the other way to catch up really fast is to read it. You can read it, and that's really fast because you don't have to wait on the animation scenes. You're just reading the text and you're moving on, right? So that's my game plan. She's got all of them. She's got all the manga. So I'm just gonna read it and catch up.
And the show follows it to a T?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
cool.
Actually, not very often that you get shows that don't follow the manga, because if they do, then just the consumer base goes rabid. Like, they get pissed if you do that.
Yeah.
It's like when movies don't follow the books, people get pissed. It's the same thing, right? And this is like why they literally made. Have you ever seen Full Metal Alchemist? Dude, not an anime enjoyer at all. It's okay. It's a shame. It's fine. So Full Metal Alchemist comes out.
I've watched the anime is Pokemon.
So, and it's a great one, right? I don't watch it anymore. I haven't seen it. I'm not caught up. It's like Pokemon's like Dragon Ball for me these days. I can't.
I've never seen Dragon Ball Z either.
Dragon Ball was great back in the day, but I can only see Goku power up for the 10 millionth time. You know, I'm past it. I want fresh. I want new. Respect to Dragon Ball, but a lot of people say the new ones are good. I'm okay. But with Full Metal Alchemist, they made Full Metal Alchemist. It ended. People were unhappy with it because it changed from the manga, and they literally remade it. So I don't know if it was the same studio or not. I have no idea, but they remade it. It's called Full Metal Brotherhood. From the beginning, it's called Full Metal Brotherhood. And for the first 10 episodes or so, it's almost frame for frame exactly the same. And then it starts to like skew off. And in my opinion, Brotherhood's much better. But it follows the manga like way more closely. I love it. And that's one that I watched way before me and my girlfriend started dating. But yeah, that's the content I'm consuming lately. Other than that, dude, I do watch Ludwig from time to time with my brother. Like, he'll like pop on a podcast.
Even since the YouTube switch?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And mainly because like he'll like pop it on while we're like cleaning or like doing painting or something like that. We were like painting our house recently.
Mogul Mail.
Yeah. And honestly, I love Ludwig. I think he's got great content. In terms of streams, I mean, man, if you're not on, I'm watching Summit. I'm maybe watching Zero State. I don't watch streams though. The thing is, though,
I don't have Turbo, and I really should get it because I am instantly turned away from streams the moment an ad plays. So it's like going back to our first episode, man. They really got to nail that down because I'm instantly going to YouTube and watching streamers on YouTube, because that's what I essentially watch is live streamers on YouTube. But I got into something recently that I used to do as a kid. And this guy's incredible, dude. This guy's so good. It's insane. It's this, he's got to be 30 years old, little white dude with a two football jerseys in the background. One's Adrian Peterson, one is I forget the name of him, but he's the Giants running back.
Okay.
And when I had this time where I wasn't playing many games, but the games that I was playing was like Madden, MLB, which was the EA Sports MLB, which they no longer have the rights to, and NHL. It was just sports games, and all I did was franchises. Okay, I would simulate the games. I wouldn't even, most of the time I wouldn't play the games unless we made it to like the Super Bowl, and then I would play it and make sure I won the Super Bowl if I got that far. Or like the Stanley Cup or whatever, right? Whatever game I was playing. This guy does all of that content, but then and the announces like your commentator.
Oh, that's actually so cool.
And he's so knowledgeable about all the players. So like he'll talk about a player who's in AA baseball, okay? And knows how well he's doing in AA baseball in real life, and then talks about him in his sim.
Wow.
And it's just so good. He talks exactly like an announcer. I mean, that's why I was like little white dude, because it's basically like every baseball announcer I've ever seen is like old white guy, right? So he's like just like perfect announcer guy.
Yeah. And absolutely. Sounds really cool.
Just, I fall asleep to it every time. And like that's my that's been like my weird guilty pleasure. Hours of this, dude. Hours of this, and I find myself like not falling asleep because I'm like kind of engaged in what he's doing, which is messed up. Because I usually would be like, all right, fall asleep to World War II documentary or something like that. I just need sound to fall asleep. But that's what I've been like really into lately. But I don't like watch TV I don't really watch movies.
Mm.
A little like I've just started watching movies with my wife recently. Like we just watched Top Gun, the new one.
I didn't see it, but I've heard amazing things. This
It's
is the
pretty good.
hard part, man. This is the hard part. There's so much content to consume, you know? So you got to be picky. This is like why, man, I'm so picky with stuff. Like I'll give it a shot. Like I was doing reacts today and I'd give it 5 minutes. If I felt like it was boring after 5 minutes, I'm gone. I won't even finish the video.
Really?
I wouldn't even finish it.
I rarely do that.
The video that I played for, or I talked about that I watched today, the one with the guy who said he felt scammed by Star Citizen, yada yada. I skipped forward. I skipped forward in that video.
I watched the whole thing.
I felt like his point was not changing. And the main problem is I was getting bored and everyone was getting bored because it was all information we all already knew, right? So it was like, oh wow, did you hear that they have pledges over $100? Like, okay, yeah, that doesn't bother literally anyone in this chat, you know? Like it's all stuff that like he's expecting it shock factor, right? And that's great.
But he is getting shock factor from
yes,
like outside.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But for myself, and we are not the target audience, right? We're not the people who are going to be.
Video.
You loved it. That's great, Mike. I love that you loved that video. I didn't love it. I watched the end and I was 100% expecting him to drop his referral link at the end because it was so funny because his whole point was how bad Star Citizen was and how awful his experience. And then at the end, he's like, I actually had a really great time doing this in the game and I loved it so much and it was so much fun and there's nothing like Star Citizen. And he's like, but should you play it? No, absolutely not. And which is so funny because like that's my opinion too. But it just felt like so much of it was, you know, hashtag drama, hashtag, you know, you won't believe what happens next. And I guess I just kind of, you know, gave up on it a bit.
It was so funny because what I really like about those type of videos as a Star Citizen creator is the people on the outside are to me are the most interesting to watch because they don't have all the information and you can fill in the gap. And it is just interesting to see the way the outside perceives because we are in such a bubble, dude.
I agree with you.
Because like the most ridiculous things are normal to you and I when playing that game, and it is so insane because it is not normal. And I'm like, right now, I'm in this like mood about the game that I'm losing my mind at the things that people think are normal because all they do is think, eat, and sleep this game, and it is so not normal. Like it is nuts.
And let me clarify.
That was like my most viewed react, by the way, in the last like couple months. Was that one? It was an hour and 20 minutes long.
That's crazy. And let me tell you, dude, I 100% agree with you, by the way. I guess like the problem is that I just didn't feel like his point was really changing. And I felt like I was just, instead of getting like interesting information, I just felt like he was just complaining. And dude, he's right to do so. He really is. Mm-hmm. But I don't need 40 minutes of it before you make your point. You know, like that, I guess like, so right after that, we watched Nubifier's video on, you know, the viable product video. You've seen
minimum viable product.
Minimum viable product. Seen them all. It's basically the same video.
Come on, brother.
Of course. You're the Star. You're the Asmongold of Star System. Of course. Let me bow real quick. Of course.
No, it's not like that. It's just
no.
I have no other content.
No, I know,
point.
dude. Yeah. Listen, I shouldn't even asked, but it's basically the same video, right? It's essentially the same video.
Really?
I think so, right?
Interesting.
You're making a point of what Star Citizen needs to do to change, what went wrong. He's making essentially all the same points. Nubifier's is 12 minutes long. This guy's is 55 or 52, right? You pause, so yours is like an hour 5, hour 8, whatever.
Hour and 20.
Hour 20, right? So there's dialogue going on and stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's great. But the same video, but Nubifier, because he's informed, because he's, you know, it's not as drama, it's not as clicky, because that's not how the video is edited, of course. But
Yeah.
in my opinion, it's just like, it's much more concise. It's much more to the point. There's a lot more. There's stuff in there that I'm even like, oh, wow, that's interesting. You know, I didn't think about that. I didn't, you know, whatever. You see the big, long list of things that still need to be in the game before they consider it a finished product. And you're just like, geez, dude, like maybe they should just, you know, cap it and, you know, wrap it and send it off, shipped alive, instead of like trying to, you know, reach these unobtainable goals. And that's what this other guy's trying to say in his 52-minute long video, but he takes 50
Well, he's got to
minutes
go
to
through
do
the
it.
he's got to go through the history for his audience.
Of course.
That was like he was talking about the Forbes article and stuff from like CR, like that's some old stuff that, you know, and he's going through
I didn't
all
even get that far.
the stuff. Yeah, like he went through the whole thing, right? So I guess I had little moments where I was like, all right, you know, we know about this, but this makes me think about something, and this goes for like our a lot of our content creation discussions that we have. Do you make content that, like, when you stream, are you making the same content that you like to consume? Or is it like a whole nother thing? Do you
I don't think so.
Yeah, I do. Like that
I don't
that's like
think so.
where I think I make the exact content that I would consume.
I'm making a content that I feel like I would want to watch, but not the content I consume. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not out there watching gameplay videos of, like, the content that I'm posting to YouTube is not it's the content that I feel like the community wants, and not and my audience wants, and not the content that I necessarily want, right? Like, and this is a great point for me. Like, maybe I should be doing more what you're talking about, you know?
That's why I brought it up, because I think you're looking at it and going, this is boring for me, so I shouldn't keep watching this video or whatever, or I should skip ahead. And in reality, if you were watching like if you enjoyed a react of somebody else watching that video, is that what you would want them to do? Right? And like for me, it's I consume react content as well. It's like I didn't start making react content because of the fact that I was consuming it. It actually happened naturally, because in the Star Citizen community, we have Inside Star Citizen. Every week I would watch that. And I noticed people in the chat going, did he watch it yet? Yes. Oh, damn. And then I was like, well, I guess I should start posting this somewhere so you guys can see it. I noticed the VODs views were so much higher on the days that I did my podcast, the days that I did reacts to ISC or SCL, Star Citizen Live or Inside Star Citizen, for people who don't watch Star Citizen stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, I should start posting these videos. So it just happened naturally, and then we started watching other things, and it just grew, and then blew up into what it is now. And my React channel has more views than my main channel now. But I also consume that content on a regular basis.
No,
so I'm
this is
sitting
really
there
interesting.
going, like, it was just it came natural because I knew what I liked.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I was enjoying doing what I like, you know what I mean? So it was like different for me.
That makes sense, way. Man. Yeah, this is a really good point that I really have not thought about a lot. Honestly,
to me, that video was the perfect react because of that. It's long, which is great for just YouTube, and then there's so many opportunities for you to interject into it and add to it, because he gets things wrong. He shares a point that is like, wow, from the outside, holy shit. Like, he is right. And anybody sitting here, like, when he shits on Star Citizen saying that it's not, like, this dude's right? Because this is the general sentiment that we don't see in our echo chamber that loves the game, right? So it's like, yeah,
super interesting point. Yeah, I get what you're saying there. And the bigger, point to me is that creating content that you would want to watch, and I've never thought about content creation that way, because like
that's how I do it.
Hmm.
I
It's interesting.
like
I think I stream.
Daisy
Let me put it
movies.
this way. Let me put it this way. I think I stream that way. I don't think I make YouTube videos that way.
Fair
Does
enough.
that make sense? Because
Yeah.
one of the things that I pride myself on is how good I am at reading chat. Like I try to read as much chat as I can. But you know, that's my biggest pet peeve is when I go to someone's stream and they're not reading any chat, like at all.
Yep.
And they're totally able to. They're just not doing it. And I'm just like, crazy. So I think that I'm creating content that I feel like I want to watch and on Twitch, but on YouTube, I'm creating content that I feel like the community wants or needs, which is where the tutorial videos came from.
Yeah,
you know?
that's a whole nother thing. Like, but the thing for me is at the same time when you
I agree
go
with
to
your point though.
of course, yeah, yeah. But when you go to another game that you've never played before, do you watch guide content for it, or do you go in blind?
I don't. I love going in blind. I love it.
Okay.
When I play video games, I love going in blind. I don't want to learn anything about the game until I'm in it. 100%.
So I watch like let's plays and guide channels for content that I don't even play, and it makes me want to play it. So that was like another thing of like I really desire to make guide content and like storyline movie type videos and stuff as well, because that's what I love to consume. So all I want to do is find a way to do the same things that I love. And I personally, like, I've seen other people in our community do it, and it's super inspiring. People like Voidy Vids or Citizen Kate or you with guides and things like that are so inspiring for me to do it, and I just haven't. It's one of those things like I gotta get on my horse and do it, but that's just the way I look at everything, and with Twitch too, right? Like reading chat is very important because I would hate to go to a stream. Same reasons.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's not that, you know, there's not going to be moments where someone's focusing up or I'm focusing up, but that's why I go to Twitch streams, for the conversation, you know, and with chat too. You know, I like the crazy wacky chat as well, you know, the memes, but the way the streamer interacts with chat and the way chat interacts with the streamer is the reason why I'm on Twitch. So
it's the reason why Twitch is still better than everyone else.
I agree.
It is the only separation is and Twitch is so lucky, dude, because it's the only thing that separates them from everyone else is the culture that was created in those days that still exists today to some extent. This insane hive mind thing that happens, which is awesome.
Right. So it's I don't know,
about
man.
That time.
Well, it is about that time, but man, you've just given me a lot to think about. Honestly, in terms of like the direction of where I want to create content and creating content that I feel like I want to watch. It's just not something that I think about enough, honestly. You know, so interesting, man. Well,
because I think you coming from like a movie background, maybe you're like directing.
I'm used to creating content that I don't care about, you know, but again, when it comes to Twitch streaming, I do think I do that. Just, I don't know, man. And I was doing that on YouTube for a while, creating content that I felt like I wanted to watch. And then, I don't know, I guess I kind of veered away from that, you know, started going towards stuff that I felt like less that I wanted and more that the community potentially needed, you know, and I was right about that with the tutorial videos.
Well, coming from like approaching content creation as a business or whatever, like you're not wrong in doing that. But I think like going all the way back to like taking care of your mental health and things like that, and keeping streaming fresh and fun. For me, that's I've been around for so damn long still, and I've survived through Star Citizen for this long by approaching it that way.
Well, let me say this, and I think this is like gonna hammer your point on. And I think that this is something that information I need to reiterate to myself and walk away with was it's like 2016, maybe it's a little bit before that, 2015, somewhere around there. PUBG is like at its peak. And everyone's playing it. Doc, Shroud, I'm trying to remember some of the bigger streamers at that time. Ninja probably wasn't playing. He was probably playing Fortnite. I don't know. A lot of big streamers playing it. I can't remember them all. But Summit 1G punches his monitor, right? And he deletes PUBG live on stream.
Some smash.
He says it's a great game. I can't play it. He says I can't play it. I can't do it. And at the time, single game streamers was the thing.
Just
Shroud,
to be clear, that was H1Z1, the GOAT.
Oh, when he punched his monitor?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the story I'm telling is about PUBG. He deletes PUBG live on stream for that reason. He says a great game, I can't play it. And the meta game that every big streamer had to play to be relevant, he said I refuse to play it. And it was PUBG, right?
Yep.
And his stream starts dying. He's bleeding viewership, but he doesn't care. He starts playing what he wants to play, right? And what happens? He plays Destiny for a little bit. He's playing all sorts of different wacky, weird games. And he opens
that was
up.
His best time. I think that's when Summit became like the GOAT for me.
I agree. 100%. I'm with you. This is a transition that he made that paved the way for every creator on the platform, I think.
It's weird because Lyric did it from the start.
Right, but he was like,
but at the same time, there's something different about Summit.
Yeah, it was like edge case though, right? Like Lyric was able to do it because he built his whole. But all the other big streamers, like literally, Summit's pulling 20,000 viewers playing PUBG. He stops playing PUBG, 3,000. It was that low.
Bad? See, I don't even remember that.
It was that bad, dude. I remember because I was like, I loved watching Summit, and I was like, damn, dude, this is crazy. I was paying so much.
You were watching him die.
And I love Destiny. He's playing Destiny 2, I think. I love Destiny. And I was just like, man, like, Summit's just, at least he loves what he's playing. Like, that's why I kept on remembering to myself. At least he loves what he's playing. And he opens up Sea of Thieves, and something magical happens. People realizing he's having the time of his life. And it's crazy, right? Because not only that, but I'm pretty sure he didn't pioneer this tucking content, right?
I don't think so.
Other Sea of Thieves streamers did it before him. He just popularized it. And not only that, but also
it was perfect content.
It is perfect content because he got to talk to a stream. He got to talk, but it wasn't necessarily interesting. The interesting part was the situation. No. I agree with you. But like, you open up the stream and you don't know what's going on. You're like, why are we staring at a boat, a wood wall? You know what I mean? If you don't know what's going on, there's 60,000 people watching this. What the heck? And all of a sudden, it's like he creates, in my opinion, this was a stepping stone for all variety streamers. Him being able to pivot off that, I think was because after that, he did a podcast, and I can't remember who it was with, but he did a podcast and he said specifically, I'm looking for the viewers that will follow me to whatever game I go. He's like, there are people who want to chill with me for some games. That's cool. They want to chill me. But the people who are like, Summit, I'm here for you. Those are the people who I want. And that stuck with me. Like building a community and a stream off of people who love you and not the game you play. And that's hard to do. I know that you know that. I know that. That's hard to do.
I'm really struggling with it right now.
It's tough.
I have like this list over here with my llama list. This is like my wife's shopping list. But it's all like scheduling other games and trying to figure out how to do this.
Yeah, man. It's tough. It's tough.
Sticking to one game is very difficult. And especially when that game is not really doing what you want it to do.
Right.
Like that feeling that Summit had. I am going through it right now, brother.
Yeah.
It is so hard. Like Berks messaged me and was like, we playing today? And I was like, nah.
he was like, I can't do it, bro.
I was actually busy. Like I had something else I was doing. But if I didn't, the answer still would have been no. I was just like, I can't get into it right this second. In like a matter of days, I'll get over it. But like, there's
the disparity
times
we had on that hardcore challenge was crazy. I had the best time on the hardcore challenge. Mike had a
I
terrible
hit
time.
every bug.
And I think it was just luck. You know how many lives I lost to bugs, Mike?
0?
0,
1?
bro.
Yeah.
0. Unless you want to count. There's some like, buggy stuff that's happening. Like decoys aren't working. I died to missiles one time. I still counted it because it was a combat thing. It was a player missile, to be fair. So I died to missiles one time. I died to the hammerhead ramming the mantis. That shouldn't happen, right? It's like this massive ship. The hammerhead rams this tiny ship. It should explode. You should be able to line up 50 arrows and plow through them with the hammerhead. Collision. Have you ever played? You've played Elite Dangerous, right?
Yes, it's like a tactic in Elite Dangerous, right?
Dude, ramming in Collision Elite Dangerous is awesome. It's great. And someone in the comments is going to say I'm wrong. I think the shields absorb collision. You can ram people. Yeah, there's certain tactics to it and stuff. It's awesome. And the fact that any ship can ram another ship in Star Citizen, the biggest ship in the game, can get rammed by the smallest ship in the game and die is
water bottle.
Crazy.
A water bottle can kill a ship in Star Citizen.
Yes.
That's our problem.
Yes. Nothing can kill a ship in Star Citizen. Nothing. They can just poof. Dude, so the free fly, it's not going good. Let me just say. I played today. It ain't going good. There's some wacky stuff, right?
Surprise.
What's new, right? But that all to say, being a single game streamer is hard. I can't bring myself to stream other stuff, not even because I don't want to play Star Citizen, but just because I am an addict gamer who likes digging their teeth into games. I want a game that I feel like I can just plow into, like Tarkov, like Star Citizen. Rust I was really into. That's a hard game to stream though. Games that I feel like I can sink my teeth.
Amazing for YouTube. That's like
Rust.
This was one of the things that I wanted to ask you, and since we are going a little bit longer than normal, maybe there's a door to open here. Do you watch other video games or other video game content that you never played or don't play?
Not really. Sometimes. It's very rare. Very, very rare.
I almost exclusively watch content that I don't play.
That's so crazy to me.
This Bengal Plays guy with all the sports stuff, like the sportscaster guy. This guy's incredible. Don't play any of those games. Don't own any of them.
Of course.
Don't own a console, right? Most of them are on console. Project Zomboid. Never played it. Just bought it the other day. Finally, got me inspired to want to play it. Oh, I know I would. And it's like almost dangerous how much I might like it. Super in depth, right? I catch myself watching World of Warcraft news. I've never had a WoW sub in my entire life. If anybody has watched Week in Review, the early days of Week in Review,
oh my god,
are incredibly inspired by this channel. Bellular is you'll know if you watch Bellular's like early videos and watch my early Week in Reviews, they're very similar. What else?
I think
have I been watching lately? Rust and Daisy.
I love Rust. Have you seen? Do you watch Frost?
Yep,
dude.
Frost Willjum.
Frost is one of my biggest inspirations for YouTube. I love Frost. Like
he's one of mine too.
Do you like my no ship challenge? My bounty hunter. A lot of these stuff inspired by him. 100%. Like but
that's why I asked you that question. Do you make content that you like to watch? Yeah. Right? That it's right there.
Those were the videos, those are the ones that I would agree with, that I'm like, yeah, I would like to watch those. But those are the ones that I got inspired by. Was his videos. I always said when I first watched his videos, probably 2 years ago, I haven't seen anything in a long time from him, but he's probably made some good ones since then. But I
mean, they're very similar nowadays.
I would watch them and be like, man, I want to do this, but for Star Citizen. That's what I wanted so bad.
I do this every day, Berks. Every day. Everything I'm watching is how do I apply it to what I'm doing? And then I go, well, fuck, I can't. Every day I tell myself that I can't. But then I watch other creators do it because you can.
Yeah.
And I always just psych myself out and I don't do it.
Right. I mean, it's like that story I told you before stream of the guy I
Yep.
saved from piracy. It's like
Yep.
that seemed like if you narrate that right, it's a Frost video. 100%.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Just boom. Easy. In and out.
My biggest inspiration right now is Sour Sweet
I don't even
Daisy.
know who that is.
Oh, he
Streamer,
is
YouTuber exclusively?
both,
Both.
which is what is so inspiring to me. Is I
Dude,
watch his streams
respect.
and I watch his YouTube videos, and I'm like when I tell you, like when you ask like how many hours a week do I put into this, when I'm watching him, I am doing it for my own enjoyment, but I am working while I'm watching him. I'm taking mental notes of everything he's doing. How is he doing his how do I think he's doing his audio? How do I think like and it's like how do I get
Mm.
do what he's doing because he's having
Sour
so
Sweet.
much fun.
Yeah.
He's having so much fun and he's
Man, maybe
doing
I need to watch
he's
more
living the
people.
dream.
Honestly.
That's why I brought that up. It was
Yeah.
like I think that that's really really important to it's how I
Get inspired.
it's
Yeah.
it's how I get through my humps, you know,
Totally.
my downtimes.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I mean, this is really good info for me, honestly. Like, I feel a bit not inspired to like go create content, but I feel inspired to go get inspired. You know
Is
what I
that
mean?
weird? But
Yeah.
but then
No.
you don't waste too much time because
Right.
that's where maybe I've been a little bit more
Right,
lately.
right.
Is once I went full time, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. Inspiration from here, 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 and then I found myself wasting a lot of hours
Yeah, absolutely.
being inspired, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Don't
it's funny.
be an inspiration watcher, you know? It's
It's too much.
too much. But
Yeah.
cool. I mean, I feel good about what we talked about today. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up? We're
Do
an
you still have
hour.
cable?
Do I still have cable? Absolutely not. You
When
want to hear
did
something
cut the
crazy?
cord?
Dude, I haven't had cable in
Since before COVID for me.
12 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Nothing, dude. And the last I lived in a house before this one for 4 years, no cable at all, never paid for it. The house before that as well, 4 years, never paid for it.
What?
I lived with someone before that. I lived in LA for a year before that, no cable there. And the roommate I lived with before, he did have cable, but I didn't watch it.
What did you do for fun?
Man, I mean, we talked about this, right? Like I mean, I did watch
Yeah.
Netflix. Netflix was really big at the time. Like it was
True.
the golden days of Netflix, right?
True, like The
in that
Office
time,
was on there.
right?
Yeah.
Everything was on there. It was before any other subscription services. Nobody was doing it. All the movies were on there, right?
Yeah.
There was no limited time on this service, whatever. Everything was on there. It was golden days. But then aside from that, I mean, man, I was like living my best non-media consuming, God-fearing life at the time, right?
Touching grass.
Touching grass, reading my Bible, you know, like
Yeah.
I was consuming content that wasn't like Christian in nature was just like really not something I did like before I veered away from, you know, that path in my life, right? I didn't even play video games really. But then after that, right, whenever I started, you know, playing video games was how I kept myself busy, streaming services, watching stuff online, YouTube, Twitch streams. I started getting into streaming. I felt like I didn't have a lot of time I was watching other people stream at the time. I was really big into networking when I first streamed. And I would say the thing that's interesting is when I first started streaming, people reached out to me constantly for collabs, team ups. You know, people wanted to be my streaming friend, whatever. That
Do you
doesn't
not
happen
see that anymore?
Never.
Because they're intimidated.
Never. People don't want to team up with me. They don't want to play with me. This
They
isn't a
do.
pity
They're just-
party.
They're intimidated most likely.
Sure. It's just like, man, people never reach out to me ever, like for anything.
You know what? I set out. This is like a goal that I actively try to remind myself to do, is to be the glue as much as I can be. I want to be the glue with everybody because like we talked about this is like I remember the early days of creating content in Star Citizen. Everybody was up against each other. It was so competitive. Not as many people were making YouTube, so it was a lot of
Yeah.
Twitch, and it was just so competitive, and it wasn't a good experience. And the way it is now, I want to cultivate as much of that as possible. I want to be the glue. I talk to
I respect that.
try to be friendly with everybody and try to bring as many of us together as
Well,
possible.
yeah, and I need to do a better job of that. But someone who I really did do that with and wanted to do that with, it was you, right?
Yeah.
Like you're someone who I really felt like I wanted to be friends with. Even there was a time when I don't think that
You
you
hated
wanted
me.
You, dude, and then I felt like you hated me for a while. I don't know.
No, I don't think I ever hated you. I don't know if I didn't know you, right?
Okay,
Like
fair
I don't
enough.
know. I don't get like that. Like I got to know this now. What
Well,
vibe
it was
did made you feel that
it
way?
was well,
Did I
yeah,
say
we
something?
can tell this story, and then this will be a good way to wrap it up.
Sure.
We did content we love, we did content we hated, and now we get
And why we hated each other.
why we hated each other. Exactly.
Yes, I don't know.
So when I first started streaming Star Citizen, I rated Mike. I had been up all night. Mike was starting his stream. I was in that window.
Oh no.
And like I rated you, and I didn't see you say anything to me. Like
I might have not even seen it
you
or something.
maybe didn't see it. I rated for like 100 people, and you didn't say anything, and
Yikes.
it was fine, right? You ended up saying something like a couple minutes later, but at the
Okay.
time it just like rubbed me the wrong way. And then I started learning about you, and I was just like, this guy's like
guy's
so
an asshole.
salty. He hates my game, and it's like, dude, now I like totally understand. Like I've missed people. Well, actually, I don't miss people's raids because my raid alert is obnoxious.
I don't have one.
Yeah, exactly. So my raid alert is obnoxious. But dude, do you know what I miss sometimes is people's gifted subs, and I feel really bad about that. So I totally understand. That's not a big deal, right? It happens. But and the whole like I just became less of a white knight for Star Citizen. The rose tinted glasses faded away. And I realized that this game wasn't perfect, made by perfect people, that it had its flaws. And this is why I go up to bat for you so hard these days when people talk shit about you or like say bad things or negative things about you, because you're like the salty guy, right? You're like easy to talk shit about because it's in your name. I think is the main reason. But
Well,
me and you, man,
I think it's like they've also caught, the many situations where I'm like, this game's not good enough for XYZ reasons.
Yeah.
And that's been a majority of the things that I've been saying about the game for a long time. And I still believe everything I say and
Sure.
stand by it. I'm sure I've been wrong on plenty of things, but
yeah, and so have I.
yeah. And I think that you see that, you're immediately turned off, and that's who I am to them.
Right.
But they don't see the video where I was like, this was so great. I
you
really
were praising
enjoyed it.
them. Yeah, absolutely.
And within a video, I'll do both, right? Like I really like this and I really don't like that.
Yeah.
And you know how people are. They stick to the negative stuff. It
Absolutely.
is what it is.
Well,
Like I
dude,
don't get mad at people for feeling that way about me.
Dude.
I just try to let them know who I actually am.
like I had someone, I won't tell the full story because it's pretty fucked up, and it involves another creator, but I won't even say his name. You might know who I'm talking about. But
Okay.
essentially there's another creator who had an opinion on the A2, right? Which is a ship in Star Citizen, and people will not let that go.
He took an hour to set it up. I mean, come on.
But people will not let that go. And I'm bringing this up for a reason. That creator got sick recently and had a life-altering thing happen. Did you hear about this? Yeah. He had a life-altering thing happen to him where he's permanently changed because of this sickness. And someone said in my chat, I was like, man, isn't that so sad? Like, like think about this guy, maybe say something positive to him. And this guy this guy in my chat says, he said, well, maybe all of his whining about the A2 weakened his immune system and that's why he got sick and blah, blah, blah. I have never, Mike, I have never gone off on someone before the way that I went off on this guy. I have never gone. I literally sent this guy into the shadow realm. I shit talked him so hard. I was so upset that I was like, are you a fucking moron? Like,
yes.
Do you really think that it is comparable to take your shitty in-game opinion about the ship that you're in love with and compare it to someone losing like a huge functionality of their body? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, the lack of empathy in that situation and the lack of brain cells. I was so upset. But that all to say, dude, I absolutely agree with you. People stick to the negative. They forget to remember the positive. But the whole reason I brought this up is because, and the reason I go to bat for you is because I feel like we have very similar opinions on the game. Our delivery, I just feel like people feel like is different. I don't feel like is that different. But I think that people...
different.
Sure.
It's different, but just in general, I think I'm way more just aggressive cursing New Jersey. It just comes out. Like today, dude, have you read the monthly report recent, like the most recent one?
I did.
So do you know where they talked about the inventory changes?
Yes.
Where they said that they're like, man, like looting in a combat situation, like it's really difficult.
Yes. I was trying to remember what you were talking about.
I went on a 5-minute, just absolute ridiculous cursing, blowing my top off. You could see the steam coming out of my ears rant because they have a third I'm going to do it. I can't do it now. I'm starting. Like it's already started. I'm starting to lose my mind about it. We have the Star Citizen inventory is the dumbest thing on planet Earth. Okay. It's the third person inventory. You press I for inventory and it is a third person camera that is like out here over your head. If the camera happens to be in a wall, guess what you see? You see a wall instead of your inventory. And they're going, we don't understand why. We have to investigate why it's difficult to loot in a combat situation. Well, maybe because I have to turn the fucking camera to loot, right? Okay, I'm
no, I completely agree with you, by the way. I think that's really dumb, right? Like it needs to be an overlay.
But now watch your delivery right now versus what I just did.
No,
that's
100%.
How we differ, right?
But I guess the way that I saw it was they were more talking about the tactile interactable, where you have to like run up to a body that has a gun on it. You really need that gun. You're out of ammo. You really need that. You need that med pin, whatever. And you have to sit there and pinpoint pixel, hover over it. And if you click the wrong, I didn't want to grab their arms, bro. I wanted to grab the gun. You know, like that's what I thought they were talking about.
I got to bring it up. I'm actually going to bring it up just because I believe.
Because they said if you need a med pin or something quickly. I was thinking they meant grabbing it off of a body. That's what I thought.
I think they mentioned first person though. Like considering going to the Daisy Tarkov where it's an overlay over your screen, but behind it you still see what your character sees.
When I saw first person, what I thought they were talking about was inventory access outside of eye. That's what I registered that as.
Okay, interesting. You might be right.
It could be wrong. I don't know. They're not very clear. I mean,
classic
dude, some of the patch notes, some of the stuff, it's goofy for sure. This is why there's been a whole debate on the whole trespassing thing, right? Like nobody knows what's going on. It's probably going to change before they reiterate it, but yeah, man. I
can't find
this is so funny because we're on a totally different topic now. We're supposed to be talking about why
we got to change the title. What is the title of this podcast?
I don't know, bro. The title is the content we love, hate, and despise. I don't know. It's the good, bad, and the ugly, bro.
I found like a lot of podcasts that I listen to, very, very similar situation to a lot of what we were talking about. All the podcasts that I like to listen to, they like something happens in the show and that's what they name the podcast. And it has nothing like it doesn't necessarily, it is the topic that they talked about, but you don't know what they're talking about by reading the title. It's just something stupid they said during the show. Well, good podcasts will
talk about multiple things, right? But
exactly. So what would we title this one?
Why Berks hates Mike.
Perfect.
The funniest part is you'd have to listen for an hour and 52 minutes to even know why. Exactly. So let me finish on that note. Let me finish why. You know, so I ended up liking you, right? I start really liking you, actually, Mike.
But I gave you bad vibes the first time you rated me and stuff like that.
You gave me bad vibes.
Some bad vibes.
But I got over it, right? I was like, I think
a lot
Mike's
of people
cool.
don't get over it.
I think Mike's cool. And leading up to, I think you know where this is going. Leading up to,
I'm not sure.
The creator fight or flight, dude. I was so team Mike, man. I was so team Mike. And you said some what basically, if you guys didn't see the creator fight or flight, what happened was Mike was like literally so hard on himself. He was like, I'm gonna lose round 1, I'm gonna get dumpstered, whatever. And Mike ended up making it to the end with Moist Noodle.
0 deaths. I'm
0
very proud
deaths. 0 deaths. Except when I shot. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, getting to the finals, we had 0 deaths, which
finals,
nobody could say they had.
Nobody got to the end except, so it's double elimination, but what happened was basically that it had been going on 8 hours at that point, longer, right? It was a long tournament.
It was very long.
You guys said whoever wins the final match wins it. We're not going to do double elimination.
It was supposed to be a best of 3 in the championship final.
Okay, I didn't even realize that.
And then we said we're too tired, so like,
let's just roll it.
I didn't train for the tournament really at all. I trained a little bit the night before, and I trained leading up to the tournament that morning for about an hour or two. So, I was going for a while. Like, I started streaming at 6 a.m. and it was already like 9 or 10 at night or something. Like, it was like crazy late at night at that point. So I was dead.
It was insane, right?
And Noodle lives in the UK, so it was very late for him.
Literally, I'm like so pro Mike. I was like, if I don't win, I want Mike to win. I'm rooting for him. Like literally, Mike, when you were like killing people or when you won matches, I was screaming, bro, and my chat was going crazy. Like I was screaming for you. And
I have a sports background. I'm incredibly competitive,
super competitive,
and I when I win, I get very happy. When I lose, I do not. Get very happy.
And so, what happened was the final match came. It was close. Me and my partner Pel Kaiko end up beating Mike and Noodle in the 2v2. It was Banu Defender and Sentinel versus Banu Defender and Sentinel. We win.
Are we gonna ignore how you got into the losers bracket?
Oh yeah, so basically, well, sorry, that wasn't really part of the story, but
I gotta feel
totally,
good.
Yeah, totally. So
I
basically,
beat Berks in the second round.
So second round, Mike and Noodle, it was Aurora and Hawk on Daymar. You guys like basically one past my teammate. That he was being such a dork in that round. I don't know what he was doing, but you guys won past him. He was literally dead before I got to the fight. Before I got to the fight. Yeah.
I was like, well, okay.
Yeah.
It was Berks' teammate this bad? No.
Dude, I don't know what he was doing. Being a total dork. So he gets insta-clapped. So I go super sweaty mode because I'm like, I've got to pull this together. And let's be honest, dude. The Hawks weren't doing anything, right?
No.
They were basically...
They chose a weird loadout for them.
The Hawks, at the time, the loadout that they had was useless. And so, you know, we're trying to like make something happen, but you had already won the match at that point. You know, you killed the guy who was supposed to be scarier, and he got clobbered by you guys. So Mike wins. I go to the losers bracket and claw my way up until it's me and Mike in the finals. So Mike and I fight. We duke. My team ends up winning. So Mike gets second place. I get first place. And, you know, I'm celebrating, obviously. Next day, Mike goes live, and you said some stuff that I thought was really hurtful, personally.
Okay.
Yeah,
tell me.
You said that you called me a snake. You said...
What?
Yeah, bro. I swear to God.
Why?
I swear to God, Mike.
Dude, I have the worst memory ever. Well, I have no idea why I would say this.
You must have just been upset that you lost, you know? And so
the weird thing is,
I had a book that I read out to you that I was going to send you on Discord about how I was just like, bro, I'm so disappointed. I thought we were better friends than this. And I just never sent it to you.
What is
bro,
this?
I swear.
And
I
just
swear.
just
So
to
like,
clarify,
what had
just to
happened?
clarify before you continue, I never was upset that I lost in this. I was so happy that I made it. Like this is like one of the only situations where I've lost something and was not.
Well, it's
I
so
don't
weird
feel
that you
like I
say
was
that.
upset. It's weird.
It's so weird that you
Yeah.
say there must have been a disconnect because I had multiple people, by the way, linking me your VOD. And
Okay.
that
So
doesn't
these
happen.
are like
Doesn't
words
happen
that
very
absolutely
often.
came out of my mouth and are
Yes.
not being
Yes.
misconstrued.
So
Okay.
here's what you said specifically. You were saying, you said you opened the VOD. You said I won that tournament. You said I beat everyone that was there. And you said you were like talking about how proud of you were and whatever. And someone was like, yeah, but Berks won. And you said something about me, and someone goes like, why'd you say that? You know, Berks was rooting for you the whole time.
Okay.
And you were like, yeah, but Berks is like really snaky in that kind of way where he like says something, but he doesn't actually mean that. Like he's really rooting for himself.
I don't know you.
Bro, listen, dude.
At this point, I don't know you.
Listen, dude. This is just what you said. I don't know if like it was just like a weird day for you or what, but this is what you said. And dude,
It must have been. What the fuck?
That hit me in such a negative
sorry.
way. No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm over it, dude. I'm over it.
Regardless if you're over it or not, I don't know what that even means. Okay, and yeah, this is
maybe you thought that at the time. You know, I don't know.
How? Why?
I don't know.
Weird.
But
the but I will say when I say I won that tournament, like in my mind, I won. Like I won. I'm happy with my result.
yeah,
Not that I won that tournament. I deserve the trophy.
sure. No, 100%, dude.
Okay.
100%. And again, I literally, and I mean this genuinely, I hold zero like grudges about it. I don't really care.
Obviously not.
I've moved on from it. This was a while ago. It's like 2 years ago now. You know, like almost 2 years.
If I was in your position, I would never talk to me again.
I thought about it, dude. I thought we were
hold grudges like nobody's business,
dude. I mean, I was like, you should. I mean, I had a conversation. The person I was closest to at the time was Virgil, and I told him, I was like, dude, I don't think me and Mike can be friends anymore. You know, like this is like super hurtful. And he's like, oh man, just give it some time. You know, like I know.
Snake. I'm trying to think of like what my thought process could have been.
I don't know, but yeah, at the time I was really hurt by it. But that's why I thought you hated me.
Here's the only thing I can think of. This is no hate at all either. It was in my mind. I could see you rooting for me, even though you 100% are trying to win.
Yeah,
like you want to win at all costs. Like when I beat you, you could see that it was like it hurt.
Yeah,
the first time, right? So yeah, but that still doesn't make sense because if I lost, I would be rooting for you too, or I would have been rooting for
I mean,
whomever was left.
Yeah. I mean, we weren't
zero or something.
Yeah, and I mean, we weren't that close at the time, to be honest. You know. And it's like I did consider you a friend. I didn't
even know you.
Oh, really? I mean, yeah, I was gonna say I would have considered you a friend at the time because we were.
Don't take this the wrong way. I wouldn't just yeah. This is gonna be weird, but I wouldn't.
Maybe I just like. I don't know, man.
It takes me a long time. It takes me a really long time to let somebody in.
Sure, that's fair.
Right.
The way that I function is completely different. I give respect quickly, but people lose it really quickly too. You know,
and maybe this is where that mentality came from. I always assume people are bad. I start with that. Bad, you are bad, and you need to prove to me that you're not.
Yeah.
But the fact that I said that out loud is like ridiculous. And it's not even that like I might have even thought about it. Like, you know how you have like a passing thought that isn't actually something that you logically thought about, but it's just something that comes through your mind?
Yeah.
I said that out loud.
Yeah, sure. And
because there's no logic to it.
I've said stuff that I don't really mean before either, you know, especially like when you're put on the spot on stream, someone says something, you know, whatever. But again, it's like, it's even
to like streaming though, is like think before you fucking speak, man.
Absolutely. You know, absolutely. 100%. And I try to be careful with that.
I don't. And look at that situation where we ended up being very good friends, but I almost fucked up. I almost completely fucked it up over nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's
how many friendships have I fucked up at this point, being like the way that I am? And why do people come to your chat and talk shit about me? Because I probably said something to them that they didn't deserve.
yeah. I mean, and
Right?
that could be the case, right? And
Yeah.
it's like when you're tough on people, you're really tough on them, right? So
Yep.
it's maybe that just rubs people the wrong way, you know? And
Yeah.
people feel like I'm maybe a little bit more like quote unquote reasonable, right? Because it's like I really like playing devil's advocate with people and understanding where people like getting different opinions on stuff. Like that really interests me. And
It's so fun. That's so cool too, because I love hearing other people's opinions, and I do let them like sink in and help formulate my own with like learning things from them, but I still am very stuck.
dude, no, I get it 100%, but it's like I love hearing people out from like their point of view. Like, and when people tell me, "Oh, that's dumb, that's stupid," I'm like, "Well, yeah, but tell me why. I want to know why you think that's stupid, because then we can actually talk." You know, like I
Yeah.
had someone today being like, "Oh, yeah, the content we have in Star Citizen today isn't that much better than 3 years ago." And I was like, "Well, tell me why." And
Yeah, because
they were like,
that's so not true. But
"Yeah, absolutely not." And so I was like, "Well, tell me why." And what they ended up telling me was that the reason they feel that way is because it doesn't feel that much differently to them. I was like, "Well, can you give me an example of something that would be added to the game that you would feel like is a big deal?" And they couldn't give me anything.
That's weird.
They couldn't give me anything.
Because that should be the easiest question to answer. Because like I feel like coming from that perspective is the thing that they like isn't
Yeah.
in yet.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and what they said was,
that's where I am with the game.
sure, absolutely. What they said was different content and different types of missions. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, you got to give me an example, you know? Give me an example. What do you mean? Like, is there a game that missions have had that you think is interesting? But yeah, I really like picking people apart and understanding people. And I think that's how I ended up getting over my bummer opinion of you at that time, was just like, I started to understand maybe where you were coming from, even though you're
Not with that statement.
Yeah, I mean,
That
apparently,
statement's ridiculous.
well, I just like, I guess, no. Well, in like from, I
Snake,
love
what the
I
fuck?
love seeing where people are coming from. So I'm thinking in my head like, oh, like maybe he just was upset about losing, or maybe, you know, this, that, or the other, right? So I don't know. I'm a very like, I ban people, bro, and I'll unban them. Like that happens. Like, I'll wait till the stream is over and I'll unban them, or 10 minutes later I'll unban them. Someone says something that like really ticks me off, and sometimes I just, you know, I make a split-second decision and I have to moderate myself, you know, is how I see it. But I don't know. I don't really hang on to grudges.
I do. I found myself lately like rolling back things that I said, like, I didn't really mean it that way. I could see how this might be perceived in not the way that I'm trying to say it, or whatever. I think even that was what, 2, 3 years ago now. I think I've grown up, and I'm a fucking old man. I have gray in my beard, but I think I've grown up a lot more since then. Of Yeah, maybe I was still had competitive juices flowing in that moment, but I don't know what the fuck was going on there, but I think I have grown a little bit more since then. But I also think I love being me. I love saying what I
Uh-huh.
feel in the moment, and it not. I remember somebody in my chat trying to hold me to some standard like I'm a role model of some kind, and I'm not, and I never will be, and I will never be held to that standard. I am not your kid's second grade teacher, you know? And
Absolutely.
I will I you get one life, and I just want to live in the moment, and whatever happens happens.
You want to create
But
a
I don't want
life
to hurt
that you would
people
like to
along
live.
the way. Yeah, but I also don't want to hurt people along the way. you know.
Sorry,
And
I'm
that's
just tying. I'm tying back in like watch content that you would or create content you would want to watch. Like live the life that you want to live. You know, it's
why
essentially the same
Mike
thing.
thinks Berks is a snake is the title.
Why Mike thinks Berks is a snake. It's a good one.
Why Berks hates Mike? I think it's why Berks hates Mike is probably
here's
going to
our
be.
thumbnail. You ready? Right, I'm gonna like grab your neck, like Bart from The Simpsons, or like
Wait.
Homer from The Simpsons. Oh man.
Yeah, but I mean, that's ridiculous. But that's one thing I struggle with a lot. Like I just had a moment like that this week where I just like went off on somebody that didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
Said something that nobody deserved. It's the best when they deserve it. And you do it in a funny way. But it's not the best when they don't.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah.
Yeah, it happens. Like I said, man, we're human, but we're both trying to get better at content creation, even all these years later, right? But I think it's like moments like this, conversations like this are what help me move forward in the future, in terms of how I'm going to create content, how I'm going to, get inspired. And hopefully, I mean, this is a good moment for me to reassess where I'm at and where I want to go in the future in terms of content creation. I feel really good about my Twitch stream in terms of the content I'm creating now. I don't feel that about the YouTube, and that's what I would like to grow in. So
you're the only right now. I think I used to watch a lot more Zero because of my schedule, but you're the only Star Citizen creator I watch regularly. I might pop in some of my friend streams and stuff, but you're the only one I can watch and I find myself engaging with. Like I have to turn your stream off so I can get work done because I'll be typing,
Of course.
And
of course. I mean, I'd watch your stream more if I could wake up before.
Woke up.
Yeah,
well, if I stayed on longer than 3 hours.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I always I wake up and I'll check if you're streaming, and I don't know if it's like Discord or what, but yeah, most days you're not streaming still. By the time I get started.
For the last little while, I've been trying to get off a lot earlier, and focus on YouTube and going outside and things.
That's
like
good.
That. Is like
this
like
is a good
balance.
Season to do that, dude. I think
not in Florida.
Sorry, when I say season, I mean for us as content creators for our game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's easy. I'm going on a cruise in like 2 weeks.
Oh, dude, where are you going? I love cruises. This podcast is about to go on another hour.
Oh man.
Do you not want to say it to protect yourself?
I'll tell you off stream or off the podcast. Okay. But I'm going to some places that are beachy and will be fun. We it's like a typical cruise. You could probably guess where we're going. It's a typical cruise. It's 7 days.
Oh, nice. I just did one in March, 7 days.
Yeah.
Too long.
Royal Caribbean or
Royal Caribbean?
We're doing Royal Caribbean as well.
So I know exactly where you're going. I probably know what ship you're on.
Yeah.
It was too long for me.
I think it's going to be too long for me too.
I've cruised a few times, but more recently, like with I hadn't cruised since 2009 when I first moved down here to open a casino. I went on a cruise, and then as soon as I got off the boat, I opened this casino. But like I was like, let me go off and have some fun before we start grinding again.
Yep.
That cruise was like all right, and then like I didn't have the best experience on it, and just not like any crazy thing that happened. It just wasn't great. And then last year went on a cruise with my wife and my brothers-in-law, and we had a great time. It was amazing. It was a 3-day cruise.
Yeah.
4-day cruise. Fantastic. We loved it. On the cruise, we booked a 7-day.
I think 4-day is perfect. If you ask me, that's the sweet spot. And I think by the end of it, we're going to be bored and I'm going to be ready to get back to streaming. And that's what I want, honestly.
Yep.
But my girlfriend planned this whole thing. So
it's awesome.
Yeah.
I recorded a react
I'm excited.
On the cruise and uploaded it on the cruise.
Wow. The Wi-Fi?
But I fucked up the audio.
Oh no.
I
Did you bring a
I did
laptop?
buy the cruise Wi-Fi. I did it on my iPad. It was sick. I I pulled the craziest thing off. It was so I downloaded this crazy program to get my webcam up on the screen just like a React. It was the coolest shit ever, and I fucked up the audio. And it takes 30 something hours to upload on the
Man.
cruise. So by the time I fixed it, I couldn't get it up in time.
Oh man, that's tragic.
I had to upload it twice. I fucked it up twice.
That's so tragic.
It
But
was
hey,
the ISC where they did the pulling the weapons off.
yeah, of course.
I reacted to that one in the middle of the ocean. The ocean was in the background. It was it was sick.
Yo, you wanna do a podcast on a cruise? You down?
I would love. Okay, no jokes. If you have a great time on this cruise, let's plan like a weekend one,
Bro.
like a 3-4 dayer.
Okay. Okay. I'm down.
And we'll all go.
I'm down.
And
Sounds sick.
and maybe we'll try to get some other like SC creators. I think that would
Okay.
be sick.
Hey, listen.
We can either do like a couples one, or we could do like content creators.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
And
That sounds good to me.
their significant others if they have any. We can find them their new significant others. On the
Hey,
cruise.
now we're talking.
There's single nights and all that stuff.
Is there really?
Oh yeah, dude, cruises have literally everything.
Yeah, I heard there's like, dress up
Activities
nights
on
and
activities.
all sorts of stuff.
It never
yeah.
stops.
Yeah. It's smart. But
My favorite way to vacation.
yeah, cool. I'm
Man.
pumped. I've never been on one. I've never even taken a real vacation really, like ever. All my
Have you ever been
traveling
on a
has been for
boat?
work. Yes.
So like seasickness won't be a thing. Okay.
No.
Because it can be.
I'm ready
pretty-
though.
Yeah, man, it's the shit. Did you
Heck
get the
yeah.
meal plan?
Yes.
Okay, that's like
Wait, which
when do
one?
you go?
Like 2 weeks.
The unlimited meal plan.
I think that's what we got. Pretty sure.
Okay, if you did, this is something out there for everybody. It's a little bit pricey, okay, but you get to eat at all the special restaurants on the cruise for no additional cost, just tip or whatever. Tip's actually included in it. So you can go to the steak
Interesting.
restaurant. You can eat as much as you want.
Okay.
Ask for anything you want.
I'll tell you what we did. We did the partial for that, where we
Okay.
get like 4 nights where we
Perfect.
get to eat at those places.
That's like a good middle ground for it.
Yeah.
And like we did that, except we didn't. You have to reserve where you're going before you get on the cruise. Call and tell them, I want to reserve the steak restaurant this night. I want to reserve the Italian place this night. I want to reserve hibachi. If you want to do hibachi, you better reserve that shit now, or you're not going to get a table, or you might get lucky if people don't show up. Me and my wife got lucky one night and nobody showed up and they snuck us in. That like we had a whole party, a whole group of people, like 6 of us, that we couldn't get a table because
Wow.
they screwed up. Yeah, it was bad.
That's insane.
Yeah, you got to book ahead. So
Dang, dude.
little lessons out there.
All right. I got it. Mike the cruise master, dude. Like I said, I'm new to this. I'm new to vacationing in general. And I've never taken more than like a weekend trip to places. Every other I've been to 50 countries, all for work.
Yeah.
In the past.
Yeah.
So I've done a little bit of that. Has been like a touch of vacation, but it's like stuff I built in, and it wasn't like real vacation. It was like, oh, since you're here, you do this
A cruise
30-minute activity.
A cruise is the ultimate vacation.
Some people hate them, so I'm
How
nervous.
can you hate them? You do not have to do like you are there. You can't go anywhere.
Do you get off the
Everything
boat?
is taken care of. Sometimes,
Okay.
like I've been on a few cruises now. So like, let's say Nassau is a place that almost every cruise ship goes to, right? If you're going in the Caribbean, Nassau sucks. I don't like it. I have not had a good experience there.
Fair enough.
It's I don't go. The big thing in Nassau is a casino. The fuck do I want to go to a casino for? I've been going to them for 15 straight years, right? That's like the big attraction. So for me, I never get off the boat in Nassau. I don't really go on excursions or stuff like that either. Sometimes I'm sure there's good ones in Nassau, like scuba diving and shit like that. I don't do that stuff. So I don't get off the boat in
Dude,
Nassau. No need.
we got multiple excursions planned. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Tons of them.
I'm yeah. And most of them are super cool, right? It's just actually anyone I've ever done was super cool, except for one Royal Caribbean one. It was really bad. But you won't experience that because the Royal Caribbean has its own island, right? You're going there, Coco Cay. Like if that's where you're going on, almost guaranteed you're gonna have a day at Coco Cay or whatever the hell they call it. And this was before it was built up. So this was in 2009, and we got an excursion to like we were gonna have a tour of the island, and they were gonna show us all the edible like natural food on the island, and they were gonna show us like how uh like Bahamians like cultivate the food and everything. And it was just like one girl that just walked around and was like, "Yeah, that's yucca, that's plantains," and it was like the most cringe. We paid so much money for it, and it was the most like fucked up thing ever. And we are like, "This is so stupid," but like zip lining and all that stuff, that shit's awesome. So
Yeah, of
like
course.
all those kind of things.
Oh, we're doing some
sweet.
cool stuff. We'll do. I'll have to tell you about it whenever I get back. But
Yeah, dude,
yeah,
cruising's
yeah.
the best. It is
Heck
the
yeah.
ultimate relaxation for
Heck
me.
yeah.
It's the only time I've ever relaxed.
I can't wait. I need some relaxation, honestly.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. I think I leave in like, I don't know, like 2 weeks. So should be good. It's perfect timing for
Nice.
me too. But anyways, dude, I feel like this is a pretty good place to end. I feel like we're wrapped up.
I think we went longer than we have ever. Are the podcasts progressively going to get longer?
Hopefully not, dude. Literally, if you are a brave soul that's still watching, we were planning on going an hour today.
1 hour.
1 hour. We are at 2 hours and 19 minutes right now, FYI.
Nice.
So
Nice.
we're crushing it. We're breaking every kind of record. But anyways, I appreciate you guys. If you guys are still watching, thank you so much. If you love the podcast, make sure to subscribe. We'll see you guys here at 10 a.m. CST on Saturday. And then next week, we'll have another episode. We might have a guest. It could or could not be Chris Roberts. Who knows? Yeah, I can't confirm or deny for legal reasons.
Leave a comment. Let us know what you like about the show, what you maybe would like to see different, right? Like we've done sort of different topics. Today was like a mix of a lot of the topics we've talked up in 2 shows, and we're very freeform in this
was
one.
Basically 2 podcasts.
Yeah, and it was also super freeform in comparison. Even though you could tell we kind of tried to stick to some topics or whatever. Let us know what you like about it, because we're new to doing something like this.
Absolutely.
Right? So feedback really helps on how we want to continue going forward. We want to make content that we would watch, but we also want to make content that you guys enjoy watching as well. So
absolutely.
It helps.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Later, guys.